Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the MCU Crew. This is the first time you're seeing us today. There have been no audio issues at all that we've sussed out. Jesse, why are you look like your pinky's out drinking some tea. Is that chilled tea?
Oh, it's chilled. All right.
What?
Jesse, you look like you've been up for like 3 hours.
Yeah, did Jesse just like get up early and now we're getting full Jesse? Rather than like hour up, Jesse.
Y'all don't know. There's a certain you're all youngins. You'll get here eventually, but if someday you'll realize that.
No, that's not real.
No, you'll all realize one day that getting up early that's where it's at. I get so much stuff done in the morning before like the rest of the world wakes up. I'm just all like,
it's true.
I did work today. I did things today. And you're all like, I woke up 6 minutes ago. I'm telling you, it seems like a scam. But every time you see those crazy guys that are on the internet, they're like, I wake up every day at 4:30 in the morning and I get those guys, first off, insane, but also maybe onto something.
I think they're onto something. What time is early for you? What's wake up early for you?
Oh, like an hour and a half ago.
Which is, so it's
like 7:30.
It's 9, so 7:30. That's pretty early. What time do you go to bed though? Are you in bed by 10?
I was in bed by 11, I think, last night.
Okay. It fluctuates with us in our household.
11:30ish.
If we have the kid, then Aaron's getting up at 7:30, which means we're usually going to bed usually falling asleep around like 11:30, 11:45. And then I'm up.
Oh, if I got nothing to do the next day, I'm in bed at like 4 a.m. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm up all night. That's like nothing's stopping me. It's like I'm 22 all over again. Let's get dominoes.
Yeah. And then you wake up the next morning and you're just like, oh, that was a bad decision. We'll do it again next week. We'll be back here 7 days from now. That's how it goes.
That was like me. I stayed up way too late
last night, just in general. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, normally I feel like I'm pretty good. I usually go to bed at like 1 a.m. and I wake up at 9. But for this show, I'll go to bed a little early and then wake up a little early.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't take me that long to get ready in the morning. So just like, a little bit early. But today it was definitely like an 8:50 type of morning where I was like, oh, okay, I have 10 minutes to like wash my face, brush my teeth, and get on camera.
That's how it goes. Oh, Jesse's doing repair guy stuff. Gotta go ahead and mute his mic. We got a Turtles trailer to talk about. We got MODOK to talk about a little bit. MODOK's weird. I don't know. Did you watch any of it, Bronze? I watched the first episode.
I did.
And then I thought it was only weekly. I thought it was like releasing. I didn't realize the whole show was out, essentially.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. I guess it's doing that. It's only all out in the US. I think in the UK it's not, or something like that.
What are we talking about?
Gosh, weird.
Talking about MODOK and its weird release schedule. I only watched an episode.
I haven't seen one episode of it yet.
I've
seen like 8 trailers. Haven't seen one episode.
Yeah, it's also, I'm fighting a dog whose nose is just being so hyperactive. Ollie, what are you doing? There's nothing up there. What else has been going on this past week? Is there any other like big Marvel stuff? We got a couple Loki, like
30-second. Yeah.
Miss Minute, I think was the name of that Loki thing. That's what's been going on.
The Loki trailer was 30 seconds long. The trailer.
Yeah.
Crazy. That just, I'm going to let you know. I think that means because the trailer showed everything we've seen before. I think that means there's going to be a lot of like real spoilery stuff.
Weird
they
shit.
Simply can't show. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. Yeah. I'm okay with it as well. We'll get into it. Let's start though with the Eternals trailer. The big news this morning. I love that they launched this stuff on Monday. It's great because we could just talk about it right when it's fresh. I've seen the trailer 3 times. First time I watched it, I really enjoyed it. On subsequent viewings, it's a weird trailer. It's very much not what I usually expect from Marvel, which is a good thing. But also I felt like, and I think teaser is this is probably the first time that I think a teaser has been released from Marvel and it's actually been a teaser, right? Like I have no idea what's happening in this movie. I have absolutely no idea who the bad guys are. I have no idea what the plot of this movie is. I only know that the Eternals exist They know who the Avengers are. I know some of them. I know that there's a lot of Starks in the MCU now, which is weird. And that's about it. Also, I know that Kumail looks awesome, and he's got a great dance scene, apparently.
There's like a dance number? Yeah, apparently there's just a dance number?
Yeah.
I will say, the trailer, my initial response was, oh, this is going to get mixed reception.
Yeah.
Just because of what it is like the most non-Marvel trailer I've ever seen, period.
Yep.
Every single time I watched it, maybe 3 or 4 times. I agree. I couldn't tell what was going on. I get the gist. I know what it is, but it was a teaser. It told us very little. And I maybe have to watch it again. Was there ever a scene where Angelina Jolie's face wasn't covered by something?
Didn't she have she had like one scene when she was first introduced with her boob armor?
It's like a sword or like a thing. I'm telling you, I have to go back and watch it again, but I felt like they kept covering her face every time. And I was like, interesting choice.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm way off. That's what I seem to remember from watching it this morning. And I was like, okay. And yeah, I think it's one of those movies that will be super awesome, but the trailer is like very vague. And these are new characters to much of the movie fan base.
Yeah.
And so, it's going to be a hard start for a movie like this, because it isn't like, and my name is Stormfingers and I am Laser Sword, right? Like, because at least you know what those people do. The Eternals are like, we are old, so very, very old, and we fly around in a pyramid spaceship. Oh, and by the way, dance number. Like, what?
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It's weird. In a lot of ways, I think of the parallels between this and like Guardians of the Galaxy, when Marvel introduced a brand new, like, essentially world to the MCU, and Guardians did it in like this joking matter where they were like, who are you? And then he says Star-Lord or whatever. Like, it was meant as a joke, but it also introduced that fucking character. And like, you won't forget that character's name. So it does two things, both very well. And this one, like, I bet you I don't even think anyone, did they even like mention names?
No, there were no introductions. No, there were.
Yeah.
But you're right. In Guardians, I think the first trailer literally was a lineup. Like, they were in a lineup, and it was an introduction of all the characters and who they were as like characters. So you got that immediately. And this, again, I'm going to go back to what I said before. I don't know how you do 7,000 years of history in one movie.
Sure.
I'm excited to see what it looks like, but it seems like a lot. And so I'm very excited to see, like, they had them all around they had that Marvel scene where everyone is like, we're around a table and I'm going to say a quippy line. End. Right? They do that all the time. So I'm curious, if that's like a little bit of character. I have no clue, man. I have no clue.
Yeah. Bronze, what'd you think before we get too deep in the weeds?
That trailer, it's so different than anything Marvel's ever done before. It's just so different. And it was kind of cool that they had they had like an Indian wedding and like a Bollywood dance number, and they even did like the quintessential top-down shot with like that circular pattern and the spinning, which is like
looked so good.
Iconic. Like it's such a Bollywood thing. Like, that's like the shot we have in like so many of like our AAA like budget films, where they'll have like a really amazing set and like really awesome costuming and do that top-down shot. But I was also like just really shocked to see it in a Marvel movie. And I'm wondering if people are going to be open-minded enough to go see this, because it is so strange. Basically, all they've really told us from the trailer, looking at this from from the point of view of somebody that's only ever watched MCU stuff, basically it's like, okay, so there are these weird alien things, I guess, that have come here, and they have been living here this whole time, and they've never interfered, but now for some reason they're going to interfere. But they don't even imply whether or not they're going to be doing it against a threat, or whether they feel like mankind has strayed too far from the plan and must be eliminated. Like, there's just not. So it's like it's very bold and different from anything else that Marvel has ever put out.
Yeah.
And I feel more so that way after this trailer than I did after the last trailer.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really interesting as well if you go read the responses on Twitter to the trailer, because most of them are like, well, where the fuck were these people when they fought Thanos? Like, why the fuck didn't these people show up to help fight the biggest threat in the galaxy? Like, what the hell's going on with that? So it in some way, I think that it's got people intrigued to like figure out what the fuck they were doing or why the fuck they didn't like join in that fight, right? But also, it in a lot of ways, it's got people thinking like, well, fuck these guys, right? Like they didn't help out at all. Like fuck them.
I have an answer, but I think it's a huge spoiler.
Right.
So like,
well, if you do a little
get into
digging,
why they wouldn't, but like, I feel like that's a massive spoiler.
I'm just saying for the general populace though, like they can go and figure out the information if they want. So I think I know what the spoiler is that you're trying to say or trying not to say in this.
I feel like a movie like this has a lot of heavy lifting to do. And I don't know what the main focus of the plot's going to be. I wonder if it's going to be something. It's either like there's a villain, or is this one of those things where, you know, they've been like hyping up this sort of like the world is in chaos because a bunch of people snapped back into existence. Like, is this one of those things where like we got to help? We made these people. We got to like help. I have no like that's the thing about the trailer. There's literally no information given to you.
Yeah.
None.
Yeah.
Zero information. And the thing that I think is the reason why I think this is like a divisive trailer is it's beautiful. It has like some really cool ideas in it, some amazing things happening. But unlike most trailers where they tell you nothing, there's nothing in it that is like, oh, what's the hook? Like, what's the reason why you would 100% want to watch this movie?
Yeah.
Like, there is no twist or tease that's like there's no mystery, right? It's like, oh, that's cool. That's super cool. But there's no like, why do I want to know more about these characters? That wasn't in this trailer.
Right. I mean, I think in terms of, it's going to be kind of that, like, they do this in multiple phases, but for some reason I call it a phase 1 villain, where it's just a foil of the hero in a lot of ways. Cause like the enemies of the Eternals are the deviants, right? And they're just them, but evil them, right? Like in a lot of ways that's that. I think in a proper trailer, whenever that comes out, they're probably just going to show like the Celestials in some form, right? Because like that's like the direct creator of these people, right? So like they got to pop up, and that's probably a big deal of like, who the fuck are these like random ass alien people? Like, why are they so prominent in this footage that I'm seeing here? And that might be a hook. Also, I want to know like who's playing the Celestial, right? Like chat joke Morgan Freeman, but like who's actually gonna voice a Celestial?
I would be in there for that. If out of nowhere Morgan Freeman just shows up in the MCU, I'd be like,
well, I mean, one of the Eternals, their entire part of their entire like tool set is that they can communicate with the Celestials. I think that's Salma Hayek's character, Ajak. So like they're going to be a thing in this movie without a question. The Celestials will show up. The entire reason these guys exist is because the Celestials deemed it so. So like they're going to be in this movie in one way, and that'll be kind of a shock when everything that we've seen thus far from the movie is like these gorgeous landscapes and like bright colors, and then they're just going to go to space and it's going to be a fucking Celestial standing there, right? Like that's kind of a giant shock. Dudes? Yeah, just a giant shock in terms of what that actually looks like.
I feel like they're probably going to go with something Dormammu-esque.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's probably going to be like something that's far from a humanoid. Or like,
yeah,
because I can't imagine them being like, oh, it's Julia Louis-Dreyfus,
What if she
Like, they've
shows up
done
and is
some-
like, "Hey everyone, it's me, it's Celestial." I'd be like, "What?" That'd be the biggest twist since Scrolls. I'd be like, "What?"
Well, yeah,
out,
because
what?
the thing is, like, they're so good at casting those types of roles where we're like, well, who could ever possibly be this living planet in Guardians of the Galaxy 2? And then they always cast somebody that's like iconic enough or has kind of been out of the scene a little bit so that nobody ever expects it, and it's always like really good because I feel like they definitely did that with Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I
Yeah.
can't I can't remember the actor's name for some reason. I want to say the dude from Tango and Cash
Talking about
and
Kirk
Escape
Douglas?
from New York.
Or not Kirk.
No, no.
God damn it. No, I'm blanking.
Like, Kirk Douglas.
God damn it.
Kurt
No,
Russell.
I'm blanking. Yeah, Kurt Russell.
Kurt
Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell. Yes.
Kurt
yes.
Russell. Wrong K actor.
Kirk
Yeah,
Douglas.
Jesus.
I'm like, whoa.
In my head, Kirk Douglas was in that movie. It's remarkable. It's really good. You guys should.
Tom Morello? What? Remember when Tom Morello was a planet? That was an amazing scene.
That was pretty
One
good.
of my favorites.
That was pretty good. Yeah. Yeah. Kurt Russell.
I would actually be down if it was like Antonio Banderas
is a celestial.
is a Celestial.
Well,
I'd be totally fine with that. Out of nowhere, he's like, "Let me tell you about nasal allergy drugs." And be like, "Oh, he is good." Remember, because he's the bee. He's the bee, the drug bee.
My understanding
Drug
of
bees.
the Celestials is that they're not humanoid. They're giant looking mech type things. So it's just going to be a voice, right? Like, cause we've seen one of the Celestials in Guardians 1 when he's destroying that
when
planet.
he drops the stick.
We also
and then,
go in ahead. Literally,
Yeah,
the
we
go
plotline
into
is a
nowhere.
giant head.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think we'll see like a full, like, I don't know how to describe it. I don't think we're going to see like a full,
A full bodied Celestial.
yeah, I think they're going to like dial it back. And like when Ajax maybe communes with this, entity, it's going to be like Dormammu-esque where it's like Ajax this big with like a weird concept of a celestial.
Sure. Like a constellation or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, because I just can't fathom them being like, look at the scale of this thing. Because that would just be so weird to do on camera.
Yeah. But also, I don't know. Like, I kind of hope they do. Like, I hope they just go for it. And it's this giant, like quite literally giant, like multiple miles high being that's just like talking to a little humanoid person. I'd be into
Yeah,
that.
I guess maybe that's part of it is like, I don't know much about like cinematography. So to me, I'm just like, how would that work on camera? Like, because they're so big. We saw an entire plane chase happen on the head of one, let alone like a full body one. Like, for scale, that's just crazy. I don't know. It's just crazy.
Like it would be fun if they existed on the periphery, and so we only saw them in scenes like that Guardian scene or the head. Like they're just like too big and too important to be involved in like the little stuff. And they got like that'd be fun, but there's also things in the sort of the giant celestial universe that are very important that depending on where this franchise goes. I mean, like even the dude who made the symbiotes is like one of them. He's like an eldritch version of them. So like, everything comes from them eventually.
Mhm.
And so eventually we have to get to that, like, all right, we're getting real metaphysical and crazy now. But it would be interesting if they kind of like kept that always on the periphery. And so we never quite got there because it was like, we're just dealing with Earth stuff right now. We don't got, but who knows? I mean, who knows?
Apparently there have been leaks of what these things look like, and I'm staring at them right now. So I can tell you which route they go if you want to know.
Wait, they're oh boy.
It's concept art. Yeah. There are straight up concept arts of these things. If you want to know. They straight up have parallels as well into the comics.
Well, I mean,
So,
we've had
okay,
some image.
parallel
Yeah.
into the comics, then it's more giant mecha, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
They look like Jaegers from what's it called?
But they're like you know what? They look less like Jaegers and more like Ava style. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Like a little like more movement than just like I have a nuclear reactor on my back, right? You know, like a little more movement to them. Yeah, they're super interesting looking. They are right on the money
Should
when
I
it comes to
funny
like.
Should I show them? Should I show? If you don't want to see what these things look like, turn away from the screen.
Do you have this image, JP? This might be helpful.
Are you
Let me
looking
send
at
this
the
to
one
you.
that has the parallels to the comic thing?
I think we're looking at the exact same image.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Do they have the funny helmets?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay, so they went like by the book.
I mean, they look pretty like on point.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't think they were gonna go that route. I thought they were gonna be like, "Oh, we're gonna still."
This is
pull back
concept
from
art.
this.
Yeah, this is
This-
a little concepty.
We don't know this is actually what they're going to look like. They, you know, they could be totally different, but like this, I think is dope. I would love this.
But like in what it's going to be a little bit like at least for me it'll be a little bit like the first Transformers movies where like the Transformers are talking to one another and you're like this is so fucking stupid that like why they're just giant creatures
What-
that are like turning really slow and like cracking jokes with one another. Like what the fuck
Where is
going
this
on?
conversation going? Because there was never a moment for me where I was like, thank God the Transformers movies finally got it right. There's never a moment for me where I was like,
There's not.
oh, thank God they finally nailed it.
That's what
Those
I'm
movies
saying. It's
continue
weird.
to suck. They never got good.
The first one was the closest. But yeah. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what a conversation looks like if one of those things just like shows up and he's like, "Sup, I'm a celestial." How's it going? Like, what do they even say? How do they communicate? Like, do they have
I am
English
here to measure
accents?
you.
Like, what are we
Oh,
talking about here?
God.
I don't know. They wouldn't even talk in like they would have to be like, oh yeah, we our voices could be heard by anyone or some shit.
I would hope that the reason there's a character in Eternals that can talk to a celestial is because it's one of those cool like
Only
you know,
I
like
can.
biblical thing where it's like if you hear their voices, your head explodes. Like something like just gnarly like that. I would love that. I think that'd be awesome. Like,
Yeah.
they're so profound. Like if you hear their you die.
Like World
Like, that would
Serpent
be
and God of War type deal. As someone in chat just pointed out.
Yeah. Where it's just like too much.
Yeah.
I think that would be pretty cool. But you know what? This is going to be like. That's where they put in like Nick Cage as Jemiah.
I'm into it. I'd be there.
Here's the thing. I'd be fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Get
That'd
him
be
in
good.
there.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm into it. Another thing that's interesting about the trailer is Kit Harington's character, because it's quite literally just Jon Snow as the Black Knight, or sorry, as Black Knight. It's not the Black Knight; it's just Black Knight. Dane Whitman, aka Black Knight. He's just a human who has a mystical sword. It's Jon Snow.
I mean, that's pretty much everything he is in every. Like he's like a younger Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise in everything Tom Cruise is in. And
Yeah.
except for that one movie where he played the like old man agent, in which case that was incredible. Was that Tropic Thunder? Whatever that was.
I forget.
That was like one. I was like, all right, that's pretty funny. But most of the time, it's
Grossman?
just Tom. Yes, yeah.
Tropic Thunder, Les Grossman. Yeah.
But like, you know, most of the time, Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise in a movie. And I feel like that's Kit Harington. Kit Harington is just Kit Harington, and everyone just accepts it. Like, yeah, all right. And so it doesn't really bother me that much. I'm like, yeah, all right. And he's gonna like, you know, make out with a bunch of people and be amazing and like do his thing, and that's fine. I'm fine with it. But you're right. It's literally just him, but he's immortal now. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah, the meme that's been going around is he's gonna get offered that sword and then just say I don't want it.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
And then that little
Right.
redhead is going to kill the bad guy. Yeah, no, I get it. She's going to jump in and
You
stab him
know-
and at the end. It'll be like, oh, great. Okay, cool.
No respect to Kit Harington, but that dude has
Disrespect.
just one of the most saddest faces I've ever seen. Like his expression is
Just
just
eternally
permanently
sad.
so pathetic. Like, yeah, like somebody just roasted him or something. Like his expression is always so like I don't know how to describe it, so pathetic where you're like, dude, are you okay? Like I want to ask that every time he's on camera, like, dude, are you okay? Like, because he's
He's
just permanently
emoting,
has that
Bronze.
face.
Yeah, that's
But yeah,
just
but it's the
his.
same emote.
It's his resting sad face.
That's it, Jesse.
His eyes definitely. Jesse's definitely got the eyes down. He's definitely got the eyes down in this look. 100%.
Yeah, no, I'm a fan.
Yeah, huge fan here of Kit Harington. Yeah. Now that I think about it, his name is Kit, so maybe that's why he's sad. Because what the fuck kind of name is Kit? You know, just eternally sad.
Is that his stage name? I wonder if that's his like
Kit Harington.
I just assumed his real name was something like Obadiah, and they were like, "We need something that rolls off the tongue. Your name is Kit now."
His real name, his full name, is
here we go.
Christopher. I'm gonna go with Catesby Harrington. It's CATESBY. Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say something like Kit Ignatius Tolerance, like like they call him Kit because like Christian with a K, Inglesby, Tamarinth, right? Harrington, like we'll just call you Kit
with a K. That's just rude.
Well, I mean, that's.
Wait, what?
Obadiah.
I thought it would be just something that they were like, this isn't cute. No, we need
Obadiah, Ezekiel, Ishmael.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be something like that.
Now I'm confused.
We'll go with Kit.
His dad.
What are you confused by?
His dad. We're going into the family tree of Kit Harington here. We dive deep on the MCU crew. His dad's name is Sir David Harington, 15th Baronet.
Yeah, no, that checks out.
What is the fifth? Like, is that some English shit? Was he in the army or like, what does that mean?
It's super English shit. Yes. I don't like. Isn't a baronet like low down on the totem pole of like? Yeah, it's like a minor lord. Like it's one of those things that is probably in title only, and I don't know that he like. It's like like it's not like he's out there owning half a country. He literally is like, when it says 15th, what it means is that in the line of baron, you know how like there's the line of like kings and the
lineage,
royalty?
Yeah.
In the line of barons, so somewhere there's a baron like Lord Hornsby. 15 down is Kit's dad. So 15 people gotta die in front of Kit's dad before his dad becomes the baron. That's what that means. It's a title only that probably like the dudes at the country club are like, 15th baronet. Is that right? I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Right?
This website is reporting a baronet is a British hereditary order of honor, which is what you just said, with prettier language. But the ranking is pretty similar to commoners. Sir is put before the name of a person with this title. The actor doesn't get impressed by his family history like other people. Quote, there's an unhealthy obsession in America with royalty and the class system. Oh my God, you're the son of a duke, people say. I'm not anti-royalist, but who gives a shit?
Y'all are the ones keeping it in your name. Why are you saying Americans worship that? It's because we think it's weird. And we're like, what does that mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Apparently,
Americans have a weird obsession with it. Y'all are the ones naming yourselves after that shit. Shut the fuck up. Sorry.
Apparently, it means that he's the 15th Baron, not 15th in line.
Oh.
I know nothing about royals. I made a solid guess. That was a good guess. That was a good-ass guess.
If you could have just sold it, and I would have believed it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to. It was all guesswork. I was like, it sounds right.
Yeah. He's also believed to be a descendant of King Charles II in one form or the other.
Kit Harington?
Yeah. He's just destined.
You know what? At first I thought he looked pathetic, but as an American who's obsessed with titles, now that I know that he's related to Charles, I don't think he looks pathetic anymore.
I just want to be a duke. How do I get to be a duke?
I don't think you can anymore. I think it's passed on. Right?
Man, I want to be. I just want to like be able to walk in and be like Duke. Duke of Cox. Right? I wanted to like have the whole swag that goes with being a Duke.
That's what happens when you're a Duke. People just follow you around, and that's the.
Plus,
You want a
Plus,
barbershop quartet? Like, what is that?
First off, yes, but just say the word Duke. It's a fun word to say. It's
Pretty good.
Duke. It's a fun word to say.
I guess you could also marry a duchess, Jesse. There's another way.
Marry the kid of a king.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's only a bunch of like dudes, so like, yeah, I'd do it. I'd do it. Be like,
Are they
Yeah.
rich enough to have a
hell no.
same-sex-
Hell no.
No way.
No.
No
Nope.
way.
Like, how would they even handle that?
They wouldn't. I mean, we saw how they handled some other things recently. They would not handle.
Wait, Duke is mainly gifted from a queen. I gotta get in. I gotta get in with her and be like,
just go meet the queen.
Mama.
That's how she likes to be called.
Yeah. Baby, mama, help me out here. She'll be like, okay. Come here, give me your saddest Duke Kit Harington face. And I'll be like,
powder your lips.
Like,
powder your lips.
More pouty, please. And I'll be like,
There you go. Very well done.
yeah. Oh, you're a Duke now, love. Have a corgi. Yeah. And she'd wave and I'd walk away.
She
It'd
just
be
gives
amazing.
out corgis. That's true. They breed them in the in the castle, and then they just hand them out to new dukes.
I would
how it
love
works.
that.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is I'd be an excellent Duke. I would dress the part. I would dress up like a 17th century Duke. I'd have flowing regalia wherever I went. And like a cane that had like a skull on it, like a person's actual skull.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That would be great.
There you go.
Oh, I'd have so much fun. I'd definitely be a villain though. I'd be like the
You'd
bad
be
guy.
Yeah, you'd be evil. Yeah.
I'd be the guy in Pocahontas. I'd be that guy who like just wants to dig up all
Jesse,
the
no one in
gold.
Pocahontas is good. Like that's like pure.
Oh,
That's
I mean, I'm talking about the movie, not the real life. I'm talking about the movie. I'd be the guy who has like the dog,
uh-huh.
and he sings a few songs and throws gold. I'd be that guy. I'd be the villain for sure.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay. All right. Noted.
Declaring
Gotcha.
war for no reason. Oh yeah, I'd be that guy.
All right. We got
The
it.
guy who sings the "I Want More" song.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's-
remember
'cause
that.
here's the
song
thing,
for some
That's
reason.
a good ass song because it is punny. Because he sang "When All the Gold Is Mine," but it's also referring to mining gold. It's a punny song. That's a Jesse Cox tune right there. Is what that is. If I'm gonna sing a song, it's gonna have double meanings. That's
It's been a while since I've seen Pocahontas. They just straight up have a song called "Savages."
That's when they go to
Yeah.
war.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but I remember everything about that movie. That's when they go to war. Yeah, the natives are calling the white dudes savages, and the white dudes are calling native savages, and they're like gonna go kill each other.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Pocahontas is like, "You dumb mother." Yeah,
Direct.
You know what made no sense to me? They have this like really ripped shirtless guy with like, this like paint. on his
Pocahontas is
chest.
like, nah.
A lot when I was young. I was like, whoa, this man is ripped and shirtless and has like a bear paw. And she is like, I'm gonna date this guy that looks like a thumb. And I was like,
Can I tell you why? He was a bad boy. He was like, I'm gonna do whatever I want in nature. Right? She grew up in a culture where everyone like respects stuff. And he was like, I'm gonna like shoot shit. I don't even care. I'm gonna go chop down this tree. And she's like,
he was so
oh, what a bad boy.
gross. He was so gross. SNL did this whole skit where it was like people working at Disney and they had an actor for John Smith and nobody was in their line to take a photo. Like literally nobody. It was like, come take a photo with John Smith. And then literally no one goes to take a photo with him.
Yeah.
I was like, no, yeah. That was just such an L. I'm like, ew.
Sounds like Pocahontas. Sounds like that movie. Anyways,
Although that old Mother Willow, she can get it. That's all I'm saying.
Jeez.
Right? She's like, come over here and paint with the colors of
I
the
thi-
wind, baby.
I
I'm like,
think Jesse and
yeah.
Bron saw two different movies. I'm just gonna have to go with that headcanon. There's
I'm just
two versions of
imagining
that movie.
Jesse get like hitting on a
What are
tree.
you, hold on, what you imagining? Hold on, yes.
I'm just imagining you hitting on a tree. Okay. I mean, trees do be thick.
It's
Who am
true.
I
Yeah,
to?
that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Experienced, I believe, is the word. Derailed. Hey guys, get in my car. I'm gonna take a left turn away from the MCU. It's all Disney anyway, and just like drive us off a cliff. That's where I took us today.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes. We get it. There's no segue here. You just got to jump back into it. Although I don't like, I don't know if there's much to say about the Eternals trailer. It's very pretty to look at. We don't know anything else.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what I expected. I guess in a lot of ways I expected this to be what would come out. It is a teaser. Maybe we'll get more. Do you think any of the Eternals show up in these next couple of films at all? Like in post-credit shit? Do you think that is Jon Snow going to be there and be like, for the North or like anything like that? Or do you think
Swear to God,
just wait?
there's even a remote hint of a Winter is Coming Joker, I'm going to be like, I'll leave the theater. If they even remotely are like, Jon Snow's like, it's about to be a cold winter. And then another character's like, and winter is coming. I'll be like, fuck! I'll just get up and leave. I'll throw my drink in the screen, be like,
Yeah.
boo, and like leave.
Yeah.
How dare
I really hope
I'll be
there's
so
nothing
mad.
like that. I would cringe into a new dimension and see the Celestials myself in real life,
I'm trying to think if there's some way that they could like make that actually funny, but I don't know.
There's no way. There's no way you can make the death of like a beloved franchise funny. You simply can't. That thing is scorch it from the record. Let us never think about it again and move on together as a society. Thank you. That's what I say to that.
I kind of wanted to do it though.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much.
I mean, do we really think Multiverse of Madness? Because, like, if anybody were to have an interaction with them, it would probably be Doctor Strange.
Well, he's got to know they exist, right? Unless they have some like
Yeah.
anti-Doctor Strange field or essence or some bullshit. Like he's got to know they exist.
Well, if not him, then, the Ancient One would know. The Tilda Swinton character.
Yeah. There was a bit of news about that.
It almost implies that she has like almost like a omniscience. Like I don't want to say like, oh, she knows everything that's happening all the time, but she seems to have this like meta game knowledge a little bit of stuff.
Well,
so I feel like she would be somewhat aware.
In Doctor Strange, wasn't the whole point that she like knew? I guess like Tilda Swinton knew everything that happens up until the point she dies.
Right.
Like that was supposed to, like, so
she can't
maybe
see past that point.
Yeah, but she like knows everything else. I think was the whole. So yeah, I don't know. I guess we'd have to like go
like
through
she's
time
gotta
and
be somewhat aware.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't know if her knowing the future means she knows of maybe like she knows them from the books. That's like that's probably a really solid way to introduce the concept is through those books that are in the room that Wong is guarding. That I think that's a pretty solid like it's in one of her old books or something.
Just as Eternals 101 or something.
yeah, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, and I think it's also really well. They did a really good job implying in Thor Ragnarok that Doctor Strange still hasn't read all of them.
Yeah,
because he's like rapidly kind of flipping through his library when he comes across Thor and then finds, the incantation or the spell he needs, grabs that hair out of Thor's head and then like, casts the spell. So I think it is like somewhat implied that he hasn't made his way through his library. Cause he fades or he like shifts or like keeps doing the warp thing where Thor's like, stop doing that, like several times before he finds what he's looking for.
Yeah.
But it's not like he has like a complete encyclopedic knowledge of, everything in his sacred arcanum.
Plus, there's the book that Wanda has.
That he hasn't.
The Darkhold?
Well, yeah.
Maybe there's something in there.
It would be in there.
Well, that whole book's just kind of weird because, like, it already existed in Agents of Shield, but then they were like, well, agents, we don't know if this is really a part of the MCU anymore.
It wasn't. It wasn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's got to be some written record, right? Like that was another thing in the trailer that was kind of weird. It's like, we don't interfere. Then the next scene is like one of the Eternals is handing the person a knife that's like an eternal knife or something to help speed up the technology of humankind. So I don't know. We'll see how they approach that.
And this goes back to like that trailer in itself. The things that are happening in it are gorgeous. Like even the scene where they're like crafting what becomes the logo, or like the Marvel. Like there's a lot going on. It's visually stunning, but it's just surface level deep. There's no information. There's no real like gotcha hook to get a crowd that has no idea what these characters are interested. But if you're like, oh, I know these actors, I know what this is. Like, I think that's what they're going on. Is like, oh, I know a ton of these actors, and they're all really good actors. I can't wait to see what this movie is. But yeah, I have no clue what this is going to be about. Still none that I had last week.
It'll be tough, right? Because like they already did in this trailer where it's like, hey, did you guys hear Cap and Iron Man are gone? Like that thing. Like they're just going to make references to the Avengers all movie long. I worry.
Well, and I guess it's like, it's a weird thing to say. Oh yeah, no, we were watching, and for us it was kind of like a TV show, because your existence is, you're all little blips on our radar. You appear and then disappear. So for us, it's like another season of watching TV. And I don't know. I mean, I think that'd be super fun as like a kind of meme goof in the movie where it's like, look, I mean, we've existed forever, and all these things that are happening, all these wars and like we've seen that happen all over the place. Like it is nothing new. You think it's like world ending that you had like a World War II and it was awful, but like, boy, you should have seen the war on Braxis Prime. Now that was crazy. Like that. Like who knows? Who knows? It could be fun to just be like, look, from our perspective, this was like wiping out we had some feelings on this. I don't know. It could be interesting.
Yeah.
Like this Thanos character, actually? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's talk MODOK. Obviously not MCU canon. I watched the first episode. Bronze, how much did you watch? I think you said you watched 2 or 3.
Yeah, I think I'm on the 3rd. Yeah.
Okay. And Jesse has not watched any
I haven't watched one bit of it yet.
Which is honestly fine. Like it is it's a goof show in a lot of ways. Like it's definitely not. I think the people that will like MODOK are people that it's for comic book nerds. Like that show is 100% for comic book nerds. There's so many references to like so many different things. They go to fucking like Bing Fang Foom's restaurant, and he like serves just for like 3 seconds. It's a giant dragon who's serving MODOK and this like San Francisco executive dinner, and then he just walks away, right? And so like if you have no idea who that is, you're just gonna be like, why the fuck is there a giant dragon serving? But if you know who that is, you're like, oh, that's pretty goofy. Yeah, at least the first episode. I don't want to talk too much about the subsequent episodes because it's spoilery, obviously. I think, how many is there, Bronze? Is there 8? I don't know how many episodes there are. 6?
Am I
8?
halfway?
Something
I think
like
it's
that.
6 or 8.
Okay. It is very chaotic. It's very Robot Chicken. It's like, it's this weird, there's 10. Okay. It's this weird version of like, I don't know how you would describe it. Bronze, you can help me out. It's like claymation, but not like it's like if claymation got pretty.
Yeah.
In a weird
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. I don't even know how to, it's like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost like cell shaded too, a little bit. I feel like.
It's weird.
But it looks good.
It does.
I think it looks good. I think like there at first I wasn't that impressed because I was like, oh, so basically the entire premise of the show is like MODOK doing mundane things, which if you know who MODOK is hilarious. But if you don't, you're just kind of like, okay, evil guy. But they do have, like JP said, a lot of like cute, really funny things. And there there is like an Iron Man appearance like right out of the gate in the first episode. And just how everybody treats MODOK like a joke, I think,
Yeah.
is really gonna sell people on the show because on one hand, he's a villain. On the other hand, it kind of reminded me of Doctor Horrible, where it's like everyone's like, okay, yeah, I don't have time for this. You're a B-lister. We've got other things to deal with. So, like, I guess this is like maybe minor spoilery, but Iron Man is like fighting MODOK, but he's watching the Great British Baking Show.
Yeah, while he's doing it. Exactly. It's also John Hamm voicing him, which if you know who
Amazing.
that is, it's just
Amazing.
like, that's beautiful.
It's so good. And he's just like, what? How could you mess up that crust? It was so perfect and flaky. And he's like, wait, are you watching the Great British Baking Show? Like so that part of it is, I think, like really funny.
It's good.
But so much of it just comes from like I guess like how ridiculous it is to have MODOK in an everyday situation navigating everyday problems.
Yeah, it's absurd because like, not if you've seen the trailer and it happens in the first 5 minutes of the episode of the show, right after that he goes back to his secret AIM lair and goes into like a transportation thing. I'm trying to think of the word. He basically goes home, and two of the AIM agents look back and go like, where does he go at night? And he's like, I don't know. And he's going through this like long tube to get home, pops up and he's like in the fucking suburbs. And then like his two kids pop out, one who is just a normal looking human and the other one who is a person like him. I think it's one of his daughters, his daughter. I forget how many kids he has, who's like in a chair, and it's like a bedazzled MODOK chair. Like, it's just like, how did any of this happen? And like his wife, is a influencer, which is just
like a
also
YouTuber.
bizarre.
It's so funny because like you're just like it feels kind of like fresh and modern, and it reminded me a little bit of Venture Brothers in that it just leans into how kind of having a I don't want to say protagonist, but I guess having a lead that's like morally irredeemable allows you to do a lot of fun stuff narratively.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to sit here and resolve things like, oh, like I guess this thing really effed over this guy. At some point, this character should probably make amends for that. Because like that's what would happen like in a D&D campaign or something like that, right? Nope.
Yeah.
Nope. There's like people like have horrible things happen to them because of MODOK in the first episode. And that becomes a recurring theme. By episode 3, they're still making jokes about it, and MODOK has no intention. He's just like, God, stop complaining about that. Don't you know everything's not about you anyway?
Yeah.
And yeah.
Are you referencing when he shoots off the person's arm? And then like an episode later, maybe 20 minutes later, they've got like the arm has been like, they've made a suit for his arm to where he just doesn't have an arm, and he's still talking about it anytime MODOK enters the room. Because he's one of the employees that hasn't been fired.
I have phantom limb pain, and he's like, listen, I don't have time for this shit.
Yeah.
He just like keeps going, and it's like a recurring joke. And it's just like,
it's also very mature. Like they I think in the second line is the fact that he says that he had a womb wrecking head or something like that with his mom. Right. So like, there's cursing, there's blood, there's killing, it's definitely like an adult slanted show in terms of how much there is cursing and all that stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. It's on Hulu. It's 10 episodes. It has nothing to do with the actual MCU, but if you are a comic book fan, there's a lot of like Wonder Man is in the show, and I think Nathan Fillion voices Wonder Man. And I think Wonder Man is also trying to date MODOK's wife or something like that. So it's Nathan Fillion like flirting a lot. So yeah, if
that's your thing, if you're like into that,
yeah, if you liked Castle, if you've seen every episode of Castle, then you might like MODOK. Might be.
It's just it gives, it's like a throwback to so many older forms of comedy, like that Robot Chicken style. But then there was so much stuff that was like kind of modernizes it to make it relevant to today, like his wife being an influencer or a YouTuber.
Yeah.
And then like the fact that like Grumble, which is obviously like a Google thing, is like so, how do I describe it? Like it hits on the whole tech bro thing so perfectly, where even in
Oh,
the
yeah.
face of a supervillain, the Google CEO guy seems more evil somehow. So they just do little things that make it very like up to date and modern for like, 2021. It doesn't feel dated and old like a bunch of old out of touch dudes in a, but what do they call it? Bogap, bunch of old guys at a table sat here and are like, this is what the kids want. It does definitely feel a lot more like, they're touching on topics that I think are relevant to people.
The thing is, I need to get Hulu. Apparently, that's where I need
I think
to be.
you can get Hulu with like can't you get a Disney Plus sub that like comes with Hulu and maybe ESPN Plus or something like that?
I
Yeah, I
clearly
have
don't
the
have
bundle
that.
package.
Yeah.
Where do you get a bundle pack?
That's what I'm saying. There's a
Man.
bundle package.
You get a bundle with Disney, yeah.
Yeah. That's how they
Jesse,
get you.
you look like Jon Snow.
You should just make that your pouty face from now on. And you'll know it's going to work when someone's like, what the fuck? Is that like your Jon Snow face? And then you've made it, right? Like then you're there. You just got to keep doing it though till someone says that outside the show.
I guess I have to go on another date with Gemma Chan.
Yes.
And
the
go
love
back and
interest.
see my beautiful wife.
It's very true. It's very true. It's very true.
Life is hard when you're a duke.
His dad's the Duke. He's not a Duke.
My father's a duke.
Not me. That's
The worst part is I love Kit Harington, so I'm gonna like, I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna get like a message just like, Kit Harington saw your little performance and he hates you, and I'll be like, I know what's happening.
Kit Harington too, and I would say I would like to direct your attention to the section of the podcast where I said no disrespect to Kit Harington.
I believe you said no respect.
Yeah, you actually jumbled
said
the words
no
and said no respect. I corrected you. I think it.
You said
yeah.
No respect, but we were like,
it's true.
What?
Yeah, roll it back. You can roll back the footage. There was no respect. There's definitely no respect.
This is it for us. We're never going to be
canceled.
Yeah.
Last week, JP and Jesse got canceled by BTS fans. This week, I'm going to get canceled by the United Kingdom, probably.
The whole kingdom?
The whole kingdom.
All of it?
Probably.
Yeah.
Damn.
Actually, no. I'm sure, like, Scotland probably has my back.
Probably.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Like,
they're probably like,
we agree with you. Now we're canceled.
Now we're canceled.
Right.
Now Scotland hates
Scotland's out
us.
too, Jesse.
Well,
now
there it
Scotland's
goes.
out
We're
too.
going to cancel you. Yeah.
Did you see that SNL joke where they said that in Scotland someone got a letter on their door for having too loud of an orgasm, and then they showed footage of the orgasm, and it was just the final scene from Braveheart where he screams freedom. Did you see that? That was pretty bad.
I mean,
it was pretty bad. I saw that. That's my pop culture reference there for the week. Pretty bad.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid.
That's really dumb.
That's SNL in 2021 for you.
Oof.
That's savage. It's
Yeah.
6 p.m. Scotland's already drunk. Don't worry, y'all.
You didn't have to read that. That could have just been in your head. And we could have all.
Because sometimes I'm like, are we too savage? And then I read chat and I'm like, nah, y'all.
No, we're not too savage. No, chat will always
Y'all
take
are-
it.
Cultivated this audience.
Yeah.
Out of pocket.
Chat's a good barrier for sure. We can talk this Miss Minutes thing, minute-long trailer from Loki, tease, whatever you want to call it. We got to see a little bit more of the world. They're really, Jesse, you kind of mentioned this at the start of the show. It's just more of like the first 5 minutes of what that episode's going to look like.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't know where we go. The Guardians of the Galaxy,
so much...
or not, no, Thor Ragnarok. They Jeff Goldblumed is the verb I'm looking for. That poor guy with the incinerator stick, whatever you want to call it.
I think there's so much stuff going on in this series that's going to be like very eye-opening to the universe of the cinematic, the cinematic universe, that they don't want to share a lot. I'm fine with that. I think I'm intrigued as to what the show is. They've given us enough. The scene alone where Loki like has the like vote for Loki pin, and he's like dressed up, but his suit's also a little destroyed, and he's like, "Hey, it's a me, Loki." I'm like, in. I know what I'm getting into. I'm ready for that scene. I want more of it, right? Like I know that's like a Loki runs for president arc. I'm ready for it. I'm ready for that. I'm ready for DB Cooper Loki. I'm ready for like Loki in like a weird post-apocalyptic future. I'm ready for. I'm telling you, they're about to do female Loki. I'm ready for that too. I'm ready for all of it. I want to get
Loki.
Weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm ready to get weird with it.
I didn't see this like half a second shot from that Miss Minutes trailer, but I guess this is the TVA. The city or something.
Yeah.
It's just ever expanding. Kind of interesting looking. Kind of into that.
Super neat.
Yeah, that must have been fun to make. Or really, like, I wonder how much of this is just they made this, they connected it to that, and then they just put duplicates ad nauseum.
I mean, let's be real. You can already see the like reused duplicate things. So totally. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's fine. It's like, it's a city. It's a city of time people.
I'm watching the rest of it. Yeah, we saw.
Most of it's stuff we've seen before.
I'm like going backwards and forwards, and I mean, okay. I have to say it. There, the way they were able to slip in the shirtless shot.
Oh, in the beginning.
Masterful.
Yeah.
We see the Vision MCU. We see it. And seeing him, there's like that scene where he's very like Constantine-esque. He's got like the button down with the tie and the sleeves rolled up. And the Hids is rocking it. He's rocking it, okay? I'm here for it. This trailer I think was a little bit fan servicey, and I'm not against it.
Yeah. You're not wrong. What is?
I mean, the whole series is fan servicey. The whole series is like, look, we know
but he wasn't shirtless before, Jesse, and now he's been shirtless.
I mean, I understand. I'm just saying, his role in, say, for example, Thor 2, like I think most people saw Thor 2 because they wanted more Loki, not because they were like, I need to know what Thor's up to. I'm just like that's the truth of it. And so I think people are just like, okay, now's time. Let's get crazy. And he's a fun character. Even as a villain, he was fun, right? Him getting his ass kicked is fun. Everything about him is fun. And I love the fact that they're like, let's play with that and go crazy. So I'm here for it. This is going to be great. I don't care what happens. I'm going to be having a blast the entire time. I can tell already. The series is going to be really good.
What are our theories for what this is? Is that an Infinity Stone?
Yeah, that definitely looks like that. Isn't that wait, what's that crater next to it?
I don't know.
I don't
Isn't
think
that the
so.
crater where they found the hammer? Like in which movie? At the end of Iron Man?
Oh, in New Mexico?
I don't think so.
No, that was a little different, I think.
Okay.
If you look around, there's multiple falling purple things.
So
I don't think that's a stone. They're like there's like at least 4 of them. So this is something else.
It's Nick Cage from Color Out of Space.
Yo, if they ever do a Color Out of Space thing in Marvel, I will be so happy. That would be crazy. Man, that would be so good.
This is also the next scene, next frame right after that falling is.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's the moon, a moon.
Well, there is a shot where it's a bunch of like Mad Maxy looking dudes. I think it'd be interesting if he travels to a time where there is no, like, the world has ended. I think that'd be super interesting.
An interesting thing, because in this trailer and almost all the other trailers, they show Mobius, Owen Wilson's character, says the words, "You put our timeline in chaos." And then they show this right here. And it makes me think that is this maybe confirms the opposite of what I'm trying to say. But is the timeline in chaos from when he took the stone, or is the timeline in chaos just everywhere?
No, so
Like,
I think
at what point does timeline go into chaos?
I think what we're going to find out is the first episode is going to be immediately after he pops out of
The Avengers
Endgame,
Tower.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so and because he has the power now to do whatever he wants, because he's Loki, he's probably gonna like goof. You know, he's gonna goof
Sure.
around and like do his own thing. And so my thought process on this is that he has messed up the timeline so much that TVA grabs him and is like, you got to fix all this stuff. And so the series is him fixing the mistakes he made along the way while also being Loki and like, maybe I won't fix it, because you would just think immediately, because that, and this is one of those things, like when the movie ended and there was no Loki TV show right then, what the what they were talking about, Tilda Swinton was talking about, is literally there's a divergent right there. So in one universe, one of the stone, like, there's a weird divergent path, because then they had to go back further in time to get it.
Sure.
And then they went and they put it, like, what he made Captain America do is go back to that facility and place it back there. There's still a timeline where Loki is stolen, and that's a divergent point in history. So at that point, he can do whatever he wants. And so I imagine they're like, bro, look at what you've done. Look at all the things you've done. And that could be, maybe the first time we see him is he's like President Loki, right? Where he's like, whoops, I took over the country. Whoops. And they're like, nah, bro, nah. I don't know.
I think maybe part of this is just a theory. I think part of the recurring theme is going to be the time authority basically trying to hide from Loki that he's going to die.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Oh, that's so smart. I didn't even think about that.
I bet you like Mobius is going to be like trying to pretend, like intentionally obfuscate that when he blips back and everything, like he's going to die not long after that.
Yeah, that he's got to correct the timeline so that his death occurs.
And I bet
I didn't even think about that.
Part of the struggle might be Loki trying to do everything to make sure he doesn't die by Thanos' hand, and Mobius trying to like make sure that he does, because he might be trying to alter the timeline in little ways to be like, well, maybe I don't have to die. And Mobius is going to be like, no, you have to die. That's the timeline. We have to maintain the purity of the timeline.
Fuck, that's going to be so sad if he just ultimately dies.
It is going to be very sad. I think he's going to be fighting against fate.
Can I tell you what would
be? What else
be?
does he have to lose?
Yeah.
The most Marvel thing in the world is if his death, this is all like a long con. And the reason why he was so like cavalier about confronting Thanos is because he like knew the entire time. And then he somehow lived through it. Like, I'm like, wouldn't that be like, I don't even know how. I don't even know how they pull it. But that's the most Marvel thing I've ever heard.
Oh, so that he like, that scene like happened, he knows that's after happen he corrected the timeline.
Yes.
Yeah. Because this has already happened before. So he knew at that moment that he was gonna die. And so the most Loki thing is to be prepared for that. And so he has an out. And we don't know that until all this happens. And then boom, he's back in the MCU.
So what? Then he just pops up in Thor 4? Like
that's what I'm saying. Like that would be wild because this show has already taken place.
People would not expect it, I think. And I think like if he pops up in Thor 4, he'll have that reset of being the big bad, right? Because the first time Loki popped up, it was like he had the huge gold horns, he was this huge villain. And then, Hulk smashed him in the floor a bunch of times and he became like a friend and a joke and like this big like, oh, Loki. But if he were to come back like a future movie, imagine how Thor would be like, I've watched you die like multiple times. Like, what the?
Oh,
like, no, this is not normal.
Yeah.
Whoa, check. This is all right. I'm going to give all the credit in the world to Game of Pones. By the way, so much Game of Thrones happening today.
Game of Pones. He's big Kit Harington fan.
This would be amazing. MCU Prime Loki still alive. TV show Loki sacrifices himself to save the future Prime Loki version of himself. That would be wild. That would be so crazy. If he was like, yeah, I know what I have to do in order to keep me alive. I have to kill myself. What a like wild concept for a thing. But it's very Loki, very like metaphysical MCU time travel stuff. So that would be
Yeah.
Dope.
Shit, that could actually work out.
And we know, like, from Doctor Who and shows like that audiences love that type of stuff. Where it's like, well, there's the past version of me and the current version of me, but I have to sacrifice the past version of me if I want the current version of me to do well, but I also want to live because that's the right version of me. So I think overarching that it's going to be fun and light, but I think there's also going to be this like theme of him trying to escape fate. And I think like a lot of the shackles and this idea of being in prison are kind of a metaphor for that because he's going to be like, oh, I have access to the timeline. At some point, he's gonna break in, look at everything, and be like, "I'm gonna die."
He's got to find that out, right? Like that's at some point in that show, they're gonna have to say like, you got to correct the timeline because you die, and that's part of the correct timeline.
And we know they set up time travel and timelines in Endgame. They set it up that it isn't like all the other time travel shows we know about. So like, if he kills, like, if past self dies, then future Loki won't just vanish. Like that's not how they already explained. There's a reason why Nebula can shoot Nebula.
Yeah.
Right. Like it, and so it exists. So this can happen. This is a possibility. Will it? I mean, who knows? But like that's a real possibility. It could happen, and that would be.
They've also
awesome.
They've also said that there's that Loki will most likely have more than one season. So maybe that's like the end goal. Which would I don't know if that would be good if like 2 seasons or 3 seasons from now it's him going back to write the timeline for Endgame. I don't know if that's relevant enough at that point, or if Endgame is relevant anymore.
I think it could be more of a question of like that whole no matter what I do, I still end up here, like that fighting fate type of thing, where it's not even about Endgame anymore, but more so about the boss that is the inevitable march of time, where it's like, kind of like I don't know if y'all are familiar with the 12 Monkeys TV show. It's like it's literally like 3 seasons of them being like, well, there's got to be a way to prevent this like awful thing from happening. And sometimes when they go back in time, they cause the things that they're trying to fight in like season 1. It's so crazy and mind trippy because the show literally deals with that, where it's like if you go and binge watch the entire thing and then watch it again from season 1, some of the hurdles they're dealing with in season 1, they created in season 2, trying to fix the problems from season 1. It's so crazy. It's all over the place. And I think like that could be a thing with Loki too, where it's like everything he does maybe hastens his death. Maybe like somehow or another, Thanos still kills him. And maybe that's part of where it's like, what does he have to do to fix this?
But I think there's on the flip side, it could also be like season 1 could end. This definitely won't happen, but it could end with him like resolving that timeline. And then season 2, everyone just thinks he's dead. And he finally gets what he wants, which is like his freedom
to do whatever.
He has no response. Like the whole idea is like he's burdened with glorious purpose. That whole, and now he's like free. He has no burdens. He can be like as goofy and fun as he wants to be, even though he like loves the idea of like, oh, I'm so important, right? And now he's like, oh well, I can be like fun. He is the other side of the coin of Thor, where Thor no longer has to be the king and leader of the Asgardians. He can like live his life. Loki can like live his life. So that could be a fun season 2 of the adventures of Loki.
Yeah,
and the TVA could be chasing him. Who knows?
Well, I think the TVA is definitely the antagonist of the show, like 100%. And I think Owen Wilson probably is like there's something about him that like makes him maybe help out Loki or something, right? Like that's definitely a thing. He probably goes against the TVA in some form. Befriends him or something like that and knows that the ultimate course correction is that it's his death or blah, 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 blah. Like that's definitely a trope that has been in a billion different forms of media. But
I mean, that could be why he's nice to him, right? Like he needs to kiss his ass because he's like, I have to kindly and gently guide him to his death.
Yeah. Well, I guess in one way, right? Like the TVA, like would the TVA know if Owen Wilson's character is going to deviate? Like, cause they know all the timelines, right? Like they're monitoring everything. So he can't, Like, how do you stay close?
Maybe that's
to
why
that?
he needs Loki, because Loki is so like conniving that he needs
gotta
someone
trick
like
them.
Loki to help him
Yeah.
out. I don't know. I mean, I'm here for the buddy cop vibe of the two of them. I think that'd be
Yeah.
super fun. Who knows?
Well, it gives me some like Umbrella Academy vibes in that the
Yeah.
TVA is so even if what they say they're doing is the right thing, the way they conduct themselves is so sinister, it's hard to root for them. Other than this Mobius dude who's like kind of nice, but just from what we've seen, because it's like he is like an indentured servant. It's very Suicide Squad-y in the sense where it's like you have two options. You can like serve your time by forcing, by us forcing you to do what we want you to do, or we'll melt you or burn you up, whatever that is, disintegrate you. Which is, that's not the sort of vibe a protagonist would have. And then going with that kind of creepily happy Fallout, what is that, the 40s style, like kind of thing, it makes it creepier because it's just like, hi, you're going to appear before the judge in just a few minutes. And it's just very like, this is weird. You guys are oddly chipper about what is about to happen, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like it is going to be an antagonistic relationship wherein he's going to be testing how tight the leash is constantly, and they're going to be pulling him back in. There was a very cool scene where he's jumping out of the plane and it looks like he gets pulled back by Heimdall. It looks like a rainbow bridge.
Yeah.
I think that's supposed to be the DB Cooper thing, right? I think
that
that's
is
what
the
that's
DB
supposed to
Cooper
be.
scene of him getting out of the
Yeah.
airplane. Yeah, but like, why would
But-
Heimdall be helping him slash?
Because it definitely looks like a rainbow bridge. It doesn't look like a TVA bloop or blip. It looks like the like rainbow bridge.
Right. Yeah.
So I was thinking of that too. I was like, are we gonna get like a Heimdall cameo or like a cameo on Asgard?
I'd be into that. That'd be cool. I mean, to reiterate what Jesse has said a bunch, they could really do anything with this show, right? Like they could really go anywhere and do anything.
Oh, I mean, I'm really excited to see what they do with that aspect of it. Right? They can do anything, right? He's out of time. He is whatever he does not affect our main timeline. So they can do whatever the hell they want. And I am here for weirdness. Let's get strange. Let's get creepy with it. Let's get like silly.
Do you think
Here for all of it?
someone in chat said it would be a recast? Do you think that they do like alternate, they jump into this is Marvel like dipping their toes into the multiverse world and we get like different casting for different people? Like Heimdall is no longer Idris Elba, or I don't know. Insert character here is a different actor.
If they did that for this show, after what they did with WandaVision, people would be like, "What?
They'd be pissed.
Why?
Yeah.
What?"
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I love the idea, but they've already dipped their toe into that, and they were like, "It's not at all what you thought." You're like, these MFers.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be awesome. Someone in chat, it'd be like Matt Damon is Loki, like actually Loki
I mean,
somewhere. I'd be into that. I don't know. We'll see. We're getting closer. That's got that June 8th, right?
yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, June 9th. June 9th, which is 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away this Wednesday. That's when we'll be watching that. It does come out on Wednesdays, so we'll be covering it on Mondays still. So the first time we talk about Loki episode 1 will be on the 14th. If you are wanting to cross your calendars and check your calendars, etc. I think that's kind of it. There was a little bit. Some of the topic is somewhat clickbaity, but it is an interesting thing when it comes to this idea of the Avengers campus at Disney's California Adventure Park. They've got this Spider-Man ride that
I know exactly what you're talking about.
yeah, and like I said, it's clickbaity, right? Like Disney's new Spider-Man ride features physical microtransactions. I mean, not maybe, maybe not though. The power bands, which unlock multi-fire webs, will cost $35, and the web tech will be an additional $30. But unlike the digital nature of video game microtransactions, you can at least take these add-ons home and display them, which I think is cool. Like if they're a solid piece of thing, right, and not just like some cheap plastic shit, I'm okay with that. It's not necessarily MTX, but yeah.
What's funny about like the title and them making kind of like a big, not, I don't want to say they're making a big deal, but like saying physical microtransactions is that's not very different from the Harry Potter experience at Universal Studios. You can buy a wand.
Yeah.
Yep.
That has like a chip in it, and then you can go and interact with different it's the same thing. It's just Marvel or Disney has finally figured out a way to implement it with the Marvel property. This isn't the first time we've had something like this in a theme park.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I guess the idea of like at its core base level, because it's implemented in an attraction, I guess you could say it's a microtransaction for that attraction. But here's the thing. You're not like gonna leave the Spider-Man ride and then be like, well, you got the most points. Here's your trophy. Or like, you know, if you don't get anything from it, like you're not like the best player at Disney now. There is no like, wow, I'm gonna go post my score on Reddit. That's not gonna happen. It's literally a thing for kids or adults who want to like have Spider-Man things. And then you just go in there, and because you bought it, you have like superpowers and makes you feel cool for a hot minute, and then you move on with your life. And you take it home. It's no different than when you go and you like are in the Star Wars area and you're like, I built a lightsaber today, and now I'm going to carry my lightsaber around. And when those weird stormtroopers come up to us, I'm going to go, and like, you know, there's no difference. It's an immersive experience that costs you money. And if you want to spend the money on it, you can. And I don't have one of those lightsabers. I'm not going to buy one of these things.
Really?
It simply
I figured you'd be the target audience. You didn't, have you been?
I have been. I didn't buy the lightsabers. I went to the store that has the specialty items, and I bought all the things that are on Thrawn's desk. So now I have a bookshelf that is all like Thrawn stuff. Oh yeah. And so I'm just like, oh, but here's the thing. It doesn't look like Star Wars stuff. So when people come over, they're like, oh, what is that? I'm like, oh, it's just some, you know, some artwork.
Shit. Yeah.
And I'm like, right. But,
that stuff's dangerous, man. It's been too much money there.
Yeah. But like, I don't, it's an experience though. The lightsaber thing is you literally go in, you pick your crystal, you do the whole thing. It's an experience. Same with this is you're paying the premium to have a different experience than other people. But like, that's what Disney has been for a while. I'm sure many people know. And if you don't, I'm gonna tell you right now, if you pay enough money, Disney will give you a guide.
Yeah.
That will take you around the park.
Yep.
And take you the back entrance to every ride.
Yep.
You can skip every line.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, you know, back in the Maker Studios days when Disney owned Maker, we would do that all the time.
Yeah.
And we go there, we ride every ride twice.
I've been
That's
there
how
twice,
much we could do.
or maybe I use the Maker rule a decent amount of times, and then they eventually were like, all right, you guys are actually abusing this.
Stop.
We
Yeah,
gotta
because
stop.
people wouldn't use it too much. Yeah, because every day a new like YouTuber streamer would go there. Absolutely. Yeah. And but like, yeah, you know, there's a Club 33 in those things at Disney where it's like you have to know people do. It's never
a lot of people don't know about Club 33.
That's true. That's true.
That there's like a secret lounge. Yeah, I mean, I guess like that's what I don't even understand about the whole microtransaction experience.
It's clickbaity.
Because, like,
yeah.
Because like, I mean, by that metric, paying for a churro at Disney is a microtransaction. You know what I mean? Because like
they get a lot of microtransactions.
Buying concessions is a MTX. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's like not every parent can afford that. They're like, what, $11, $9 if you have like 2 or 3 kids. That shit adds up. Eating at the park, those snacks adds up very quickly.
Totally.
I love that, like, I'm an adult, so I can buy my own snacks. But let me tell you, every time I'm walking around with a churro, whatever their seasonal flavor is, there's always nearby a 7-year-old crying and pointing about how they want one, and their mom being like, Jonathan, no. So it's like, is this really that different? I feel like I've come to conflate microtransactions with gambling, where there's this perceived sort of benefit you're getting in return, where it's like, well, if I spend money on this, I have, like Jesse was saying, I have a better chance of winning, or there's a chance I'm going to get my money back and then some. With this, it's a piece of plastic. You know exactly what you're getting, and you know exactly what you're going to get out of it. You know.
Yeah.
Or it's a cosmetic thing. Like one of the big things people think about microtransactions is like, I can buy something to make myself look better. And the downside is the developers or whoever, then because they're selling the beautiful things aren't in the game, right? But there's nothing here that's like, if you get your cool web shooter, you're not going to be able to shoot cool webs. No, you'll still shoot webs. It just won't be like multi-web. Like, well, what does that matter? Like, if you've been on Disney rides,
but the web slinger makes me more attractive.
Here's the thing. I've always said that about you. I've always said I was like, I mean, bronze, all right, but web swinger bronze? Oh my God. Hottest bronze there ever. Like, oh my God. Smoking hot. I've always said that. I've always said that about you. People didn't believe me, but now you've confirmed it.
There you go. There you go. Speaking about some more park attractions. I don't know why this is called Project Kiwi, but this is the Groot that is apparently going to be walking around the Avengers campus. They're in
not a person in a suit, huh?
Nope, it's all animatronic. There's also
not
a Spider-Man.
Person in a suit, Groot.
No,
oh, because it's gonna be a little baby, like a
yeah. This is pretty remarkable Groot. What they've built. Like it's fucking Groot, right? The animations are there. It's really weird to see.
It's so small. How are they going to prevent people from messing with it?
They'll probably have someone walking around with it.
Like 85 employees. It just fell over.
Yeah.
Oh, Kid Groot. I think is very cute. I think
look how creepy that looks. Like that.
I think kids will love this.
Dude, I'm gonna freak out when I see that thing.
Yeah. So the last time I was at Disney in the before times, this is how I know kids love anything. The Cars ride. That's actually very fun. It's in California Adventure.
Yeah, it's great.
Outside is like Lightning McQueen, whatever the hell the character's called.
Right.
And it literally is just the most basic, terrible animatronic you've ever seen. Its eyes just shift left to right, and then he'll randomly say things like, "You're my favorite driver. All right, welcome to Radiator Springs." Like just random shit.
Yeah.
I watched a family. These kids took a picture with it, and then he said something, and the kids were like, "Bye." And then he said another thing, and the kids turned back around because like they thought he was talking to them, but he was literally going like, "Racing's the funnest," and they were like, "We love you." And I was like, kids. I was like, they're gonna, if they see Groot and baby Groot is moving and they will lose their damn minds. They will be so happy. I'm telling you. Lightning McQueen literally was just like, "Wheels are how I get around." And they were like, "Yeah." I was like, okay.
Talk to me, Mom. Oh my God.
It's like, all right, okay.
I was trying to find, they might have not. Did you guys watch on Disney Plus? There's a show called The Imagineers, I think is the name of it.
Sure, it tells you about like how they make all their crazy stuff.
Yeah, it tells like the Disney story. It turns into like very Disney propaganda by the end of it. But the first 2 episodes are like generally cool. Yeah, the Imagineering story. By the end of that though, it's just straight up propaganda.
Yes, you are correct.
Without a doubt. However, one of the things that they show when they're like looking to the future or whatever, and I don't know if it's still happening. I read a headline saying that it wasn't, but I don't know. Maybe the headline was wrong. They have like a Spider-Man, an animatronic Spider-Man that like literally just swings. There's no tethers or anything attached to him. He will just be swinging above people in the Avengers campus near the ride. Kind of like the Groot thing. I don't know if they like pulled it because the liability of that thing just falling and weighing 1,000 pounds on someone would literally kill them. I don't know why. I mean, I do understand why, but who knows? I don't know if it's going to happen. But that would also freak me the fuck out.
Even if they had a way to make it, I was going to say, I think even if they had a way to make it foolproof,
yeah,
people would be friggin' terrified. If there's like no tether, especially, I think people would be so terrified it would cause pandemonium.
Yeah. I mean,
They would have to put it in a place where you can't walk underneath it, you know?
I mean, we'll see what is actually there, because isn't it next week or 2 weeks from now?
is it launching
It's
that soon?
June 4th, I think, is when it
Really?
opens.
Hold on.
Yeah, I think so.
Avengers Campus opening. Damn, I didn't
Pretty sure
realize that was that soon.
June 4th? Maybe, yeah, I think so. I think that's it.
That's soon.
Yeah, opening June 4th. Fuck, that's next week.
It's like right, and what's crazy right now is for everyone who's like, oh, I want to go see this. The way Disneyland works is
You can't.
you have to buy a ticket, then you have to get a reservation. And so you have to like buy a ticket in advance, then secure a reservation. And if you don't get the reservation, like some days you can only go to one park, some days and it's just because it's limited capacity, which would be the best time to go because there's no, there wouldn't be lines for stuff. Although it's Disney, so it probably would. But like there's limited capacity, which means
Thank them.
only so many people can get in. So if you want to see this stuff right now, it's pretty hard. I don't know when they open full, but you have to like double, triple plan if you want to go.
So I just saw the Doctor Strange Sanctum.
Yeah, look at that.
So when are we going?
Go on.
Are we all
right?
I think we're all vaccinated.
Get those live stream backpacks and
Disney's weird about those. I think
we'll
some
be
streamers
escorted out so quickly.
Yeah, I think some
They would be
streamers
like,
have actually tried to get in, and Disney was like, "No, fuck off! Like, we're not going to allow that."
Fair.
I imagine they're not cool with laptops being brought in. They'd be like, what?
Yeah,
I see people streaming from it, but it's always like a mobile stream. Like it's always from their cell phone.
Right.
I've never
Live
seen
streaming,
like a
Disney.
IRL rig, so maybe
someone. Oh, it was and this is. I mean, he's in fucking Disney movies, but Jack Black did a YouTube video of him at Disney like 2 years ago or 3 years ago.
Well, that's I think
it's
different.
Jack
like
Black,
you can, yeah, that's not a stream where you're like on 24/7. That's just you're making videos.
Yeah.
So you can like set up moments and then move on before like a dude comes up and it's like, sir, please don't film the cast. Although I guess no one would say that to Jack Black. Like, excuse me, sir.
Oh no,
He's
dude!
not no one would do that.
If you haven't seen his video on YouTube, it's pretty
His
cool.
YouTube channel is amazing.
Yeah. First of all, his
Amazing.
YouTube channel's good. His
TikTok
Disney video
is
good.
amazing too.
Yeah, he's
That
definitely
man
up
is
there.
so good at marketing himself. He
He is.
I don't know. He's hip.
He is.
It's true. It's true. Like, look, the very first video he made, I think it's his first video, is first off, he made it because I think his son was like, let's make videos, which I think is amazing.
Yeah.
But more importantly, his first video was literally him let's playing, and then the green screen falls over and it's just him standing there and he wasn't playing at all. Like, that is hilarious. He did the whole like corner window screen where he's like, oh, this game's so hard. And then the green screen falls over and it's just like, brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I was like, this man is
Well,
hilarious.
now at the end of every video, he says, "Gaming next week, guys. We'll see you then."
Yeah.
Like, it's been like 3 years or 4 years. Right? It's good. It's awesome to see him just walk around Disney because he responds to every fan, like literally everyone that stops him. He's like super into it. That's the type of shit you want to see, right? Like that's cool. I don't know. We do need to. We got to figure out when is the thing. For Jesse, it's just getting in a car.
It's an hour away. You want to come? You all want to come over? Look at an hour away. Where I live now, they built so many hotels for some damn reason. Come get a room. Let's go. Let's do this.
Okay, maybe.
There's literally a hotel right out. Like
I'm gonna
right
buy every Doctor Strange thing. It's gonna be
the
so
issue
bad.
though is how are you gonna ship them home? What are you gonna do?
Yeah,
Just
usually
give it to me.
ship
I'll
them.
mail them to you.
Well, I think.
Oh, there you go. That works too.
Doesn't
But
Disney
first, I'm
offer
gonna wear
like
them
shipping?
at least once.
Yeah, they do.
God.
They do, but it's
It's
way
expensive.
expensive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't. I think mine was free, but I got a painting
Oh, okay.
from the fine art store. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a
Yeah.
Mr. Toad because
That's awesome.
I'm a fan of Mr. Toad and Mr. Toad's Wild Ride, which is one of the oldest, weirdest rides at Disney because you get drunk with Mr. Toad and go to hell. and
Yep.
it's a children's ride, and it's so. And I love that movie that it's based off of, but it's also just such a weird ride. So I saw like a canvas wrapped Mr. Toad and was like, I have to have it. It's so
I don't know if
good.
I've ever even been on that ride, and I've been to Disney like
If you want to get
15
sick,
times.
that's the ride to go on.
Is
You're
it?
gonna
That
be ill
ride
for the rest of the day.
crazy, JP. Yeah, it's
I
so
don't know
weird
if I've ever
because
been
like
on that.
you're basically on this cart and you have these like I want to say like hand painted panels that will just all of a sudden swing. Like so it's kind of like claustrophobic. But yeah, you go to a pub. Right, Jesse? I think it's a pub with Mr. Toad.
Yeah,
Get
you
in a
get
drunk
wasted with
driving
Mr. Toad.
accident and go to
Yes.
hell.
Oh, it got
And the
replaced.
ride
Yes.
blows hot air on you. What?
It got replaced in '98. That's why I've never seen it.
No,
Well,
I
there's a
just went on it
reason.
a couple years ago.
Really?
Were you
Yeah.
were you in Florida or?
It says Magic Kingdom. It got replaced. Is there one in Anaheim?
Yes.
Oh, it only got replaced in Orlando. Okay,
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah, yeah.
There you go.
The one in
guess.
California is still there.
there you go. Yeah,
It is-
the
yeah,
Mini
so if you ever
Adventures of
wanna,
Winnie
like-
the Pooh and replaced it.
Yeah, if you want to like get real, if you want to get real drunk in California Adventure, then go with us
I've
to
done
Mr.
that so
Toad's
many
Wild
times.
Ride.
Yeah.
We'll just go in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride and get crazy with it. Be
The
like,
weird-
are we in hell? Are we dead?
The weird thing
Mr. Toad!
about Disney, I think like when you form memories, a lot of times smell is like the best memory activator. For some reason at Disney, my most memorable or the smell that I always remember the first when I think of Disney is like the exhaust from the back of a shop that smells like hot ass / corn on the cob. And that's the smell that immediately invades my brain. And I hate it so much. I don't know how to replace it. I don't know how to
Like
get it out
hot
of there.
ass and corn on the cob.
Hot ass and
That's
corn
like
on the cob.
you
Yeah.
know, it's a good cookout. That's what that is.
If you stand in the right places, it's definitely got there's exhaust from all of these things working. It smells like that.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, now I'm thinking about why they don't do that with more other rides where it's like a sensory experience. Because that is one of the cool things with
The
Mr.
4D
Toad's
experience.
Wild Ride is that they put like a heater on you.
Yeah.
That's why I love
That's why Transformers
what's
is the
that-
best ride.
Soarin'?
Oh yeah,
Is that the name? Like
California Soarin'?
that's the soaring over Cal. That
Yeah.
one I absolutely love because it's literally just like you sit in a chair, they lift you up so it feels like you're flying. You see, like you're in like an IMAX theater, and then they spray you with like air
perfume.
and scents.
Oh,
And so like when
yeah,
you fly
yeah.
over the savannah, it smells like the savannah. And when you're like up in the mountains, it's cold. Like I like those things. And they're
Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's literally like a 5-minute movie, really, but it's fun.
The Avatar ride that mimics that experience in Florida is like 10 out of 10 for that very reason. The 3-hour
Sure.
wait though, and I mean that, the literal 3-hour wait that I endured getting into it, not that fun. Not that
That's
I
the
did
worst.
not.
That's the worst part about Disney. Oh
Yeah.
my god! Like they literally make it so you feel like an idiot if you don't get a fast pass. Like at one time, I waited
Yeah.
3.5 hours for
Yeah.
Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh,
I was
that's
like,
awful.
"What are we doing? We'll go on this ride any other." And I was like, "No, we're already in it. We might as well just go." Yeah.
Well, and then a lot of their rides when they're new are not fast pass eligible.
Yep, Avatar
And so
wasn't.
This
That's
last
why.
time when I was there, I didn't go on the Star Wars ride because I just couldn't be asked to. Because they put you in this really claustrophobic
Waiting room?
hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like this really long hallway. It's really claustrophobic, especially if you're doing like the fill versus like the actual line, which I was like, oh, I'll just fill. And then I'm like sitting there in line, you know, the person I was with, and then I hear the people ahead of me that are like, yeah, it's gonna be a hit or miss because this ride depends greatly on who they assign as the pilot. And since we're in like the single rider line or whatever, like what's probably gonna happen is like if you get like a 4-year-old kid as your pilot, they're not gonna like push all the buttons. I was like, I'm done. I gotta go.
Can
I
I-
just left. I was like,
Can
I
I
can't
tell
do this.
you
I'll ride this ride.
that
in, like, 2
is
months.
exactly what happened to me. I went there. I don't remember who I was. I was with one of my friends at the time. Like we were in a huge group, but like it's 4 people, and
Yeah.
there were 6 of us. So 4 went into one as like a cohesive, badass team.
Yeah.
And then myself, and another friend go into one, and they're like, okay, you shoot the guns. I was like, I can shoot guns. Like, you manage the engine, and then the two pilots. So the way it works is there are two pilots, and one pilot controls left, right, and one pilot controls up, down. And so our two pilots were a mom and like a 3-year-old kid. And so up, down, no problem. We crashed in. The kid crashed us into everything you could. From the minute we started, we crashed into the like we couldn't even get out. We kept crashing. We hit every damn thing the entire time, and I was just like. And so this thing shakes violently whenever you crash into anything. And so we're the entire ride, we're like getting jostled around. And this kid is having the best time of their life.
Oh,
so
sure.
Like,
of course.
I'm glad this kid was having a great time. But there's like there's a story-based objective where you have to shoot enough, like get enough containers.
Yeah.
And if you get enough, like you get like a fun little like, hey, you did it, guys. Yeah. I don't think we saw one. We were just like, where are the containers? Then we were like on the ground. We were like flying. It was the funniest. We were like, this sucks. This sucks so hard. All we could do was laugh. All we could do was laugh. It was so bad.
Someone
and I heard about that where they're like, you just hope you get a good pilot, otherwise it's gonna be all bad. And I was like, we're standing in line for 2 hours and hope that I don't get assigned with some idiot kid when 90% of what's standing in this line is, no offense, children, but idiot kids. I was like, I'm a gamer. Yeah. I'm gonna get like annoyed. It's like playing League of Legends all over again, where I'm gonna be like, come on, kid, at your age.
Oh God.
I was beating Streets of Rage 3. What are you doing?
Someone in my chat says right now that ride is literally one party per ride because I'm guessing because of COVID. So if you're only 2 people, you only have pilots.
Oh,
interesting.
COVID's the time to go. COVID's the time to go because before they would mix and match you.
Yeah.
Some people, it's like a League of Legends match. Okay, they suck. They're there to sandbag you.
I'm gonna let you know if we were in a group and it was the 3 of us, I'd be like, you 2 pilot. I would stand and like. I'd strap seatbelts to me and like stand and press both the shields and the guns and be like, we got this. We win that shit. I don't care what would happen. I'd be like,
because we are gamers.
We're gamers.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
We are gamers.
Yeah. That's true.
We can handle it. I'd tape up my glasses and be like, I've got it. I'd strap myself in with both straps. Like, I'll be your R2. I start going to town.
Nailed it. Yeah, I'm curious to see what that. I guess if that's opening on the 4th, we should have like. It's a weird thing to say, amusement park reviews, but we should have whatever the Spider-Man ride is, like videos and stuff. They usually allow people to talk about those rides pretty in depth. So
yeah,
maybe I'll try to track something like that down. It's got to be weird going to Disney, though, during COVID. To some degree.
I mean,
just the stigma. Like, I would think, are you going? Are you going to go?
Yeah, next week. I'll let you know.
There you go.
Are you going for the Avengers thing?
No. It's yeah, I'll be there before that happens. So yeah. I didn't know it was June 4th until I already like made plans. I was like, oh, okay. Cool, I guess I'll miss it by a few days.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably lucking out, though, because so many of those attractions are just a shit show until it's been a couple months. Yeah. I had a great time at Galaxy's Edge because I didn't go when it was new.
Yeah.
I was actually able to, like, walk around and enjoy the cantina and stuff like that and have a really good time. But
I'm trying
when
to wait
I saw photos of, like, how packed it was I'm really happy
it was unfun.
Here when I can walk around.
Yeah, I went there the first week. It was terrible. Like, it sucked. It was so hot and so crowded, and you couldn't do anything. And we wanted to go in the cantina, and they're like, "Sorry, it was booked up 4 hours ago." We're like, "How's that possible? Why can't we go?" Like, we were scheduled to go in there, and they're like, "Sorry, that's like you missed the window to get in." It's like, but we weren't even in line to get in. Like, we weren't even allowed in the area yet. And they're like, "That's the rules." So I didn't get to do half the things you could do there.
Yeah, I just
went.
Walked in because I went like 3 months after it opened. So I just walked in, had a drink, was very relaxed. So I kind of liked that vibe.
Yeah.
I
went back a second time with my mom.
Was walking around. He was like having interactions with everyone because there was people there, but it wasn't like But when I saw footage in people's vlogs of like the opening day, I was like, Kylo Ren wasn't talking to nobody. He had the stormtrooper security to get people the hell away from him. And it
Yeah.
was like, much.
Yeah, no, my mom was like, I'd like to go check. I'd like to see that. And I was like, hell yeah, I'll go. So I went with her like a few months later, walk around, do everything. She got the whole experience. And I was like, I wish I just waited. she's like, I would like to have a Ronto wrap. And I was like, I got you, lady. And she's like, this is so unique. I'm like, yep.
A Ronto wrap. Oh boy.
A Ronto wrap.
Yeah.
Made from real Ronto.
Because it's such an excursion. I think I'm going to try to wait for the hotel experience to open up. But that's probably going to be a nightmare to get into for so many reasons. Although I think it's like $1,000 a night is what they released. So a little bit on the expensive side for sure.
When it comes to Disney, though, people will forego
the money.
food and sleep
Yeah.
and everything. There's people that are very devoted.
Well, that's a weird
Disney,
thing when it comes to
know?
that RP stuff. Like, what if the person just doesn't sleep? Like, what if they just stay up?
Because think about it, the promise of what they're saying for that Star Wars interactive hotel is you board a spaceship and then it's like a cruise, but it doesn't move.
Yeah.
Like the hotel, you're supposed to be in space, out to space, and everyone's in character the entire time.
Right.
And it's supposed to be an interactive Star Wars experience where you're like on a ship and like things go down and there's like, if that is what it promises to be, we'll see if that's truly what it's going to be. But if that's what it promises to be, then maybe that's worth the money, and maybe that's worth the like. If you're a Star Wars, if you're like hard, it reminds me of that Star Trek thing they tried to make in Vegas that eventually shut down.
Right.
Where it was like you literally are going to like Quark's bar, and you're gonna go. I mean, like if you're into it, that's an experience. The question is, how many people will be into it for how long before it becomes unprofitable? Because it's expensive to run that, I would imagine.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Like
Well-
you have to have actors 24/7, right? Like,
Yeah.
And I think like let's be real, the target demographic for that's really hard to nail down because like a lot of times when we role play, we have like rules in place.
yeah,
Especially like with LARPing and stuff like that, or
Sure.
like even Ren Fair. There's like, depending on the Ren Fair, there's like certain rules and stuff and how you conduct yourself, and even like even GTA RP, right? Which I was playing this last weekend.
sure.
But at a hotel, you're gonna have people that are like, how can I help? What can I do? With their uncle that's like, ha, he's got one of them lightsaber thingies. Jeremiah, go take a photo with that. Can
Yeah.
we get a photo with that? And so the people that are very into it are gonna be like, what the fuck is this dog shit? And the people that aren't into it aren't gonna get it, and they are going to 100% be mixed. It's gonna be a mixture because you can't like so.
That is true.
I feel like the people that are super into the role play aspect of it aren't going to like it. The people that are very casual aren't going to like it. I just don't know what the long-term feasibility of it is because so much of that immersion experience is the people you're with. So even if they do a great job with the set and the actors and the cast, if you have someone there that's like, oh, we should go, we got to go do that. Oh my God, is that guy, that Jar Jar Binks? Isn't that your favorite, Damon? Jar Jar, can we get a photo? It's his birthday. We're with the birthday boy. And you're over here like, Jar Jar.
No, it's Jesse Cox playing Jar Jar. He's playing what is Jar
Gungans
Jar's
no like
race?
an outsiders,
Gungan.
y'all.
Yeah, Jesse's playing a Gungan.
No like an outsiders. No, but Bronze is totally right. And all you need to do is look at Galaxy's Edge. The first couple months, all the people in Galaxy's Edge were like bright suns, everyone. And if you ask them questions, they would have like a character and they would talk. They're like, oh, well, do you have enough Imperial credits for that? Or they'd be like, do you have everything would be in character. If you tried to pay with like a credit card, they'd be like, well, like which credits are they Old Republic? They'd like be in character. That lasted for about like a month and a half. And then the cast were like, hey, welcome to Galaxy's Edge.
$10.
Even the people there got bored of doing it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because after the 8th grandma that's there with her grandchildren, that's like, what do you mean old credits? That's a visa. That should work here. You have the sign right there. After the 8th time, they're just like, you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, no, we take visa.
Yes.
Yeah, bitch. Yeah, hand me the fucking card.
Yeah.
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 There was, I mean, like, I was there the first week. I know that they were just like, bright sons, welcome. They'd come up to you and they'd be like in character, and you'd see characters that like were from books and shit, and they'd be like, oh, watch out, I'm hiding from the Imperials. And like they like sneak down while you're eating and you like be in a little scene with them. And that shit was not present when I came back a few months later. They were just like, welcome to Galaxy's Edge. I was like,
well, they're going to try to do that stuff with Marvel as well, right? Like,
oh, absolutely. And that will vanish because
Yeah.
just like Bron said, like, hi, Darth Vader. And Kylo Ren's like, what? He's like, hey, Darth Vader, I found that lady you're looking for. It's like, cool. All right. Well, you've ruined the scene that we're trying to do for fun for kids now. Thanks, Jeb.
Yeah.
And then like that's it sucks. It sucks. Spider-Man. Hey, Spider-Man.
It's like the
Take a
drunk
photo.
people who shout out the answer during bar trivia.
right. Yeah.
Because there's like, you can never control the random element of just like people not knowing enough about the franchise or not knowing enough about what's happening or not caring. And that will ruin it for the people who do, you know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's
like a
different
thing.
when you're going there for like, as a huge Star Wars fan, and when you're a mom who's on like day 3 of a vacation with 5 kids, right? Like that's actual hell in a lot of ways.
There's also like the parent, there's like a weird parent thing where you want the best for your kid, and so you do it in the cringiest way. Like there's this video of this couple.
We just
that
do it where
goes-
you don't care how it's perceived.
Yeah. Like there's a YouTube series about this couple that goes to Disney all the time, and I remember watching like because for a while there I was like, I want to know what like the coolest thing. I literally never been to Disneyland before, not once. And this was a few years back. Like the first time I went to Disney was like, I don't know, 5 years ago. So like, I was watching these videos and they would like go up to cast members and be like, take a photo with it, and then they follow the cast member around because it was like really fun for them. Meanwhile, I'm like, what about all the other people that are trying to like interact with like Gaston? And they're like, hey Gaston, and he's like flexing and doing his whole bit. But it's also like there are literally several thousand other people in this park who would love the same experience, and that's what happened in Galaxy's Edge, where everyone's like, hey Ray, take a photo. Ray's just like, I'm trying to be in character. They're like, okay, come take a photo.
Our daughter dressed up as Ray. She's a big fan. It's her birthday. She's turning 9 today. Look at her. She's dressed up just like you. Look, Emmeline. She looks just like you. Look, here, let me lift you up on my shoulders.
It's scary how
She
accurate
looks
that
just
is.
like you.
But like the crazy thing is like, I get it. I understand that like in that moment, your child is meeting the character they love. And you want to have that moment. Like, I get it. But at the same time, it's also so self-absorbed. And it's that weird balance where if you say to someone, we're going to make a theme park that is you go to another planet. And it is you are in this Galaxy's Edge outpost. And everything there is like you're drinking things from Star Wars. And you're eating things from Star Wars. And the shops take Imperial, like all that shit. At the same time, you are then like, oh, Kylo Ren, take a photo with me. You know, it's like a bizarre thing you're asking people to accept. And that's why, you know, when they say like, yeah, we're going to make a super interactive theme park style hotel where you don't actually leave the hotel. The entire experience is the hotel. That is, I don't know how that succeeds. I just don't know how.
Well,
I can't figure it out.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, it's also impossible to have work 100% of the time because like everyone's a paying customer, right? So you can't just take like Jimmy and Bo and lock them into the Imperial prison for 48 hours.
Although that would be awesome
if the stormtroopers just came and like took them away. To the
And
bad
if they
place.
did, they'd escape anyway. No one stays.
But I
In,
mean,
you're never safer than in an imperial prison.
We see that with escape rooms. Have you? I think we've all seen those groups. Like, I've never done an escape room, but like I've seen like vlogs and stuff of them, and I feel so bad because it'll be like, all right, you have 40 minutes to get out of this room before this zombie breaks that chain and then it's gonna come at you.
Yeah.
And I shit you not, there's like 3 people that are like, okay, we got to solve this, and the 4th person's like, so stupid. Not even like that.
Let me
yawning.
tell you
Name's
some
like
shit.
Oh, God.
Anyways,
You're bringing some memories back for Jesse.
I need to tell you this because
Okay.
it's insane.
Okay.
So, did an escape room. This is like exactly what Bronze is totally right. Did an escape room, bunch of friends. It was one of those escape rooms that's like interactive. It's super neat. It looks like you're outside, but you're clearly indoors, and you have to escape the backyard of this killer because you like. It's a multi-level escape room where it's like each escape room is a different part of the story. And so we were on the last part of the story, which is like you got to get out the backyard. And there are giant fences, and it's like in 40 minutes, these like killer dogs that he is set to find you will get you, right? And when you get in the backyard, there's like a woman chained up. And the only way to escape this escape room is you have to like switch this woman's blood with some other thing, and it's going to kill her, right? And she's the lover of like a character that's been in needless to say, you find a note, and this note is like, this is what you have to do in order to escape. And it literally says, kill this woman. And so one of our group, my dearest friend Gerard, one of our group literally is like, she needs to know. And we're like, what? It's like, she needs to know. Takes the letter, hands it to her, and thank God this actress was like on point. Because she then reads the letter and freaks out. And we're like, what did you think was going to happen, Gerard? What, like, showing the person we have to kill that we're going to kill her. And so the entire time now she's yelling at us the entire time. And he's thinking about like, how do I save this woman? And we're like, it's just an escape room. We're just trying to get out, buddy. And he's like, no, there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to save her.
I'm with
like,
Gerard.
No!
I'm with Gerard here. I'm in
Needless
Camp
to
Gerard.
say, we did not escape. We got eaten by dogs. We died. We were this close to the end, and we got killed by dogs. The lights went out, and all you hear is like, and that's how we died. And she died anyway. All I'm saying is, we could have been out of there. And he was just like, but this human being, we're like, that's an actress, dude. That's an actress who is paid to sit here and die for us. It's not real. None of this is real. And that's why I'm terrified to go to like places that are like that. Where it's, you know, it's like an interactive experience. We have the one friend who doesn't take it seriously at all, and the one friend who's like, this is the star. Yes, and you're like,
there's the way that I look at it is it's the inverse of going to a theater where people are dressed up and have like lightsabers and shit, right? Like it'll be you're in their world now, so you're not going to be like role playing, and they're going to hate on you for that fact, right?
yes,
Yeah. Because no, you're right, Jesse. There's going to be the 2 extremes of it. And it's like I hate the people at haunted houses. Like, it's okay if you're not scared, like that's fine. But the people that go there specifically to egg on the cast and the people and like fuck with the experience for everyone else by being like, oh my God, that's so stupid. Oh my God. Like, it's like, first of all, they're just doing a job. Okay.
Yeah.
Second of all, okay, we get it. You're not scared. You're like ruining the experience for everyone else. And when I went to Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Studios, they will kick you out of the park for that.
Yeah,
You
eventually
already have your money. They don't care.
Yeah.
If you put hands on anyone, if you are overly disrespectful, if you're ruining like the scares of the attractions for everyone else, they just remove you. And when I was there, I constantly see people getting escorted out. Like constantly. It's a constant stream of like dudes usually getting escorted out because they either because they got drunk and punched somebody because they serve alcohol and they, you know, like somebody jumped out and they swung on him. Or because they were like, this is so stupid, you're so stupid, I'll fight a Demogorgon. All right, you're out. But because both of those extremes are bad. The extreme where it's like, oh my fucking God, I have to fight for my life. And the other one that's like, I'll fight this guy in the suit. I don't care. He's not scary. It's like.
It's a tale as old as time is what that is.
This is 100%. I know which one I'd be. Like, I went to a Witcher event for like a press thing, and they had this amazing cosplayer dressed up as Geralt, and he was like teaching us how to sword fight. And one of the things he did was like, all right, I'm gonna teach you how to spin with your sword. And as he's spinning, I walk up and poke him with my sword. I'm like, I would have killed you if you were spinning. And he was like, no, you're supposed to spin. I'm like, yeah. But it was like, it's counterproductive. I just stabbed you and you're dead. They spin to nothing to save you. And the rest of the day, he was pissed at me. All I'm saying is, if I was there and there was like a dude trying to lightsaber fight like Darth Maul, I'd be like, "You're dead now." I know who I'd be.
You're just acting, Jesse.
I know. But it was so silly. And I was like, "You're dead. I just killed you. Now I am the Witcher." Right? I'd be like, "Now I am the Sith Lord." I know who I am. I know, because I wouldn't be like, "Yes, and now I shall twirl like you." It wouldn't happen. I know what I am.
Part of me thinks, though, that like Disney's going to plan for that, right? Like if you're paying that much money, they're going to make it interactive in the sense where people that do get out of line, like they do get put in like Imperial prison, or there's side objectives where like if you say a secret word or something, then it like you get a completely different experience from other people, right? Like I hope that they plan for that shit. I think that would be so cool.
If they were smart,
I think
if they
it would
were
be
smart,
closer to
they'd
that.
put you in prison. Yeah, if they were smart, they put you in Imperial prison that you could break out of.
Yeah,
like, that would be part of the
like an
experience.
escape room. Yeah.
Yeah, like an actual. I've been to an escape room where you were locked in a prison and you had to literally unscrew under the sink and crawl under the sink into like the walls of the. It was so neat.
Yeah.
And like, hell yes, that would be super fun if they were like, "We're taking you to prison," and then it's like, "Oh no, but you can break out." That'd be neat.
That would be really smart. I feel like it'll be closer to like the latter part of what JP said, where they'll pick out somebody that's like really engaged and perfect, kind of like the way
what happens at Harry
magicians or
Potter.
performers do.
Yeah,
where they'll be like, "You there, like, you're my assistant," and they never pick somebody that's going to be like, "There's a mirror back here." They always pick somebody that they think is going to play along or not mess with them. Like, I don't know how live magicians do it, because some people will 100% ruin your trick.
Not
They
in
clearly
today's
have
day
an
and age.
eye.
It's gotta be hard. Yeah.
They have like I think they have a really good eye for being like, this person will play along, and like help me out here. Or like, because when you're standing at that like perspective, you can see things people in the audience can't. You're kind of privy to all that. So I think like that would be kind of cool if they pick out people where it's like, oh, these people are kind of in it, and just be like, "You there, what do you know?" And like bring them into the experience, but maybe not everybody.
Well, that's originally what Galaxy's Edge was supposed to be. Like, you could ask a cast member certain questions. And there was one of my friends who went every single day the first week. He like realized they were telling a story. So if you asked enough, they would tell you about a thing, and then you go find the thing, and then there would be a person there. And there was a literal like secret story going on that if you were into it, and then later when we try to do the same thing, no longer exists. Which I don't know if that meant like there was cast turnover or they just decided not to do it anymore or whatever. But yeah, it's like it was there, and then they just stopped doing it because like there was no interest in it happening.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it also just depends on like who's going to be in the park that day, right? Like you got to plan for that. Like
I want to go to the Avengers campus and be like, "Hell Hydra," right? And see what they do.
Yeah.
I would love if there was a secret Hydra thing going on at the Avengers campus where like the employees were like, "Hell Hydra." That would be awesome. That would be so wild.
Listen, if someone dressed as a SHIELD agent said "Hail Hydra" to me, I would be so hyped.
Yes.
I would be like,
hell yes.
It would be cool
if
they plan for both of those, right? Like if they say Hail Hydra or you say Hail Hydra to them, either they can scream and then you get taken away by like proper SHIELD agents, or you tell on them for saying that and they get taken away by SHIELD agents or something like that.
Or you say it, they say it, and they're like, "Come with me." And you get like a secret Hydra pin.
Yeah. That'd be great.
That would be amazing. That would be so cool if like, "Yeah, well, where'd you get that pin?" And be like, "Oh, I don't know."
Yeah.
Like you're not allowed to tell anyone about it because you're part of Hydra. That'd be so neat.
Yeah.
But there'd be something that's like, "Actually, I said Hail Hydra to that girl with the purple bun over there." Yeah, the one with the purple hair. I said Hail Hydra to her, and she gave it to me.
Well,
that's what happened with the black crystals in the Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
When you got your like random crystals, people just discovered if you shine a light, and then they made videos on YouTube of like, "Here's how you find your black crystal," and then they were like, "All right," so they had to change the packaging.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's the thing is the internet
sucks.
ruins everything in that regard, right? As soon as that gets out, some reviewers could be like, oh my God, you guys, if you go say Hell Hydra to this person and fucking twist your feet 3 times in front of them, you'll get this pin, right?
They'll
And then
take you to a secret Hydra room and you'll get a pin. And then that kind of ruins the fun.
Yeah.
But also,
Congrats on your extra
I don't know.
50,000 views, you asshole.
I would.
You know what would be really funny though? Like if you say Hail Hydra, the person reports you to the guards. The guards take you away, but the guards are Hydra, and they say you're free to go about your business.
Yeah.
I think it would also be fun if a YouTuber's like, yeah, and I got this pin, Hail Hydra, and then you go there and you try it on someone, and they're like, I have no idea what you're talking about, because because there's like Hydra's been dead a long time, friend. Like they just like
it only works sometimes. That'd be cool.
Yeah, there's only like 1 or 2 people that are actually Hydra. Everyone else is just a normal person, and so you can try it all you want, but every day the cast member who's Hydra would change. Yeah. Something like that. So you can't if you say Hail Hydra to enough people, like someone dressed up as like Captain America's like, oh, stop that, citizen. I don't know. It could be super fun.
Yeah, it could. We'll see.
Shouldn't we run a theme park? Is all I'm saying is, why aren't we running Disneyland?
Yeah, we're definitely part of the Imagineering team, I think.
If money's no option, why aren't we running it? We would have crazy stuff. Just saying.
It's true.
Just saying.
It's true. Yeah. Someone is to wrap up the show, to bring it back to Loki and the MCU. Someone is asking, what should I watch in preparation for Loki? I would say Thor 1, Thor 2, the first Avengers, Thor 3, Ragnarok,
and then
the Infinity War. And that's probably
Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah.
I mean, you don't even have to watch all of Infinity War.
Yeah, just the first 5 minutes, first 20 minutes.
Yeah, and then Endgame. You have to watch the scene in Endgame. But like, I'm almost positive there's like a clip show of like, thanks, prepare yourself for Loki, that would give you all the answers But yeah, I mean, understanding who Loki is as a character, you can get from watching all the Thor movies, and then what's happening to him right now is from the last 2 Avengers films.
Yeah. I also think.
I thought it was from the. Wait. Okay, no, you're right.
Yeah. What happens to him? His finale is
yes.
in Infinity War, but like his plot point, is in Endgame.
And Endgame, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I think Marvel is also already doing the like PR Loki Wednesdays on Twitter. And I think they watched like Thor 1 and Thor 2 last week. And then I think they're watching Avengers this week or something like that. So if you want to watch along with some intern at Disney.
There is literally a video on Marvel Entertainment's YouTube called Loki in 30 Seconds. Tom Hiddleston explains all of Loki. Explains the entire saga so far.
Yeah.
In 30 seconds.
It's great. It's great.
So if you want like a little tiny bit and not a whole deep dive, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was just thinking of like, when you said Thor 2, I was like,
oh, actually,
I mean, I wouldn't say you have to watch it, but you kind of do for like Loki backstory, because then it affects what's going on in Thor 3. But like, Thor 2 sucks, man. Thor 2 is not a good movie. I don't even like Thor 1 all that much.
You watch your fucking mouth.
I've fallen asleep. I've fallen asleep so many times when I rewatch it. It's so hard for me to get through it.
It's got some good parts, okay, guys? It's not
It may have some good parts, but like, it got nothing going on.
Someone's got to be the Marvel apologist here, okay? Someone's got to. We still need to rank our stuff. Maybe that'll be next week. I just realized, though, Jesus, that second week of June is going to be absolutely insane. Because Loki comes out on the 9th. E3 starts on the 12th and ends on Monday. So we should have a show still on the 14th.
I mean, it's all online, so like whatever.
Yeah, well, like the thing is there might be a conference at the same time as the show normally airs. Is the only thing.
Monday at 9 a.m. What conference is that going to be?
Nintendo.
Nintendo?
Probably.
Nintendo.
We've already lost to it then, so it doesn't matter. It's fine.
So maybe we'll watch that.
No one watching the Nintendo conference is going to be like, oh, I'm going to miss out on my MCU crew. Yeah. It's fine.
Yeah, but I might want to cover the Nintendo conference is what I'm saying.
Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Look, E3 only happens once a year. But Loki also only happens
Sometimes
once a
not
year.
at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out. I'm sure they're going to start putting out dates and times as we get closer
Yep.
to that date. So, yeah. Anyways, let's do some shout outs and wrap up this 1 hour podcast. Bronze, by all means, start us off. What's going on? Where can people check you out?
Hi, hello. I'm that bronze girl. You can find me online where I stream full time on Twitch at that bronze girl, and on my Twitter where I upload content pretty regularly. The newest episode of the D&D campaign I GM on Tuesday nights is up on YouTube. And this weekend I got into some chicanery on GTRP. I'm planning on beating Resident Evil this week. Village, that is.
Nice.
Forgot the name. Forgot the number.
It happens. Jesse, what's going on with you?
Hey, we're doing the exact same thing. We're gonna wrap up RE Village this week, and I got another episode of my educational show about games coming out this weekend.
Ooh.
And it's about roguelikes, so that should be fun.
Sweet.
And I'm trying to think of all the other nonsense. I got this stuff. Just I got a bunch of. I have to watch so many damn shows apparently now.
It's true.
Because that's where my some whatever. Oh, and if you're a super nerd into Final Fantasy, tomorrow's the new patch, so I'll be streaming that like a crazy person.
That is true.
See you then.
That is true. What do I got going on? Probably what's going on this week? Playing Biomutant later today, although the reviews for that game are kind of rough, so I guess we'll see how that goes. We'll also jump into a little JPNN after this and see what's going on in the gaming news. Later today, we're watching episodes 7 and 8 of Invincible with Jericho and Luxie. So I'm excited to wrap that show up. Tomorrow, probably some Final Fantasy stuff, though. I think that's mostly Boja. I'm not sure. I need to see what's in that patch content. If not, we'll check out some more Biomutant. Wednesday, Drop Frames. DJ Knight's going to be joining us. And then we'll see where we go from there. Also, Chivalry 2, I think, starts on Thursday. So we're going to be jumping into that beta. Looking forward to that. So that's what we've got going on. Hope to see you guys in any/all of our streams at once, if there's enough. If you can just do that, let us know, because we'd love to have that technology as well. That's like some Doctor Strange tech, I think, if they can do that. Probably. We'll be back next week. Maybe we'll rank some MCU stuff. Maybe Disney will drop another trailer. Maybe we'll get the Spider-Man trailer next week. Who knows?
Instead of a ranking, could we do a tier list?
We're going to do a tier list, yeah. Yeah, I say
Okay.
ranking because it'll be a tier list. I think it's impossible to do a ranking.
In a number order. Oh, man, that's too stressful. But a tier list, I think I could manage.
Yeah, it'll be a tier list. Tier lists are the meta now on Twitch, as it turns out. Everyone's doing them. So we'll do a tier list of the MCU one of these days. We got 2 more shows before Loki starts. So maybe we can get that done.
Then we take a picture of our tier list and we tweet it, and that's marketing. Because then people will be like, what? You're wrong. You're friggin' idiots. And I'm going to tell you why. And we'll be like, thanks for the engagement, loser.
Yeah. That's why we shouldn't put Ant-Man is boring movies. Because, it's too much engagement. I don't want that heat.
No,
I don't want to deal with that.
We need to have that. And then in the middle, just put like, I do this for you, Noor. Just on S rank, just put BTS, butter.
Oof.
And then people will be like, what? This isn't even a Marvel film. And I'll be like, at one point they said Iron Man was their favorite hero. So they go at S tier, and then we'll get all the engagement and we'll all be rich and famous. And then we'll go to the Avengers, thing over in Disneyland. And they'll let us vlog it the way Jack Black did. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
It was a great plan. We'll put it in action next week. I'm on board. Jesse's not there yet, but he will be. Give us some pouty before we go. Thanks, Jon Snow. Appreciate you joining us on the show this week. Very excited for your future Eternals appearance. Sir Jon Snow. What is his dad? What's the
15th Baronet?
Yeah, the Baronet. You're the 17th Baronet, unfortunately.
I'm the 17th?
Yeah.
Damn.
You've got a secret older brother that we can't tell you about.
Man, I would be shocked by the secret older brother.
Yeah. It's just, you know, can't
Be
talk
like,
about
where
it.
were you my entire life? We could have had fun vacations instead of me doing whatever my parents wanted and
Well,
like playing Game Boy.
He was an Eternal, so he couldn't get involved, you know?
Wait, so he's an Eternal, but I'm not? That's some
That's
bullshit.
true. You've got a magical sword. Good luck. Have fun.
Yeah,
Guys, that'll do it.
Yeah, I do. Good night, everybody. Hey.
Jesus Christ. We're out of here. Bye-bye.